Good evening and welcome to Texas Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. It's the McKinney North Bulldogs taking on the highly touted Highland Park Scots tonight. And this would be one of those games where you would think David versus Goliath type of matchup with Highland Park, their 47th trip ever to the playoffs. That is a state record. And obviously the McKinney North Bulldogs in their first ever trip to the playoffs last week, defeating Dallas Hillcrest 31-15 for their first ever playoff game and first ever playoff victory. Brandon, what are your how do you analyze this game tonight?
This is what we call a trap game. This could be a situation where, last week the Highland Park Scots faced a team that beat them last year and then went and had a deep run in Texarkana High. Had the tables been reversed last week, Texarkana High would probably have Texas High would have the quote-unquote expert track to go a deep run into the playoffs. Now, with that game done, you look at, this is just McKinney North. And this is a situation where McKinney North can easily take advantage of it and say, hey, you know what? We're not some patsy pushover. We are a first-time playoff team, but we got stars, we have weapons, and we're going to see if you can stop it. Now, that being said, their defense is going to have to take it up just even a notch more than they did last week. They got 5 turnovers last week, but they gave up 350 yards of offense while they did it. And I'm going to tell you something. Even if you get 5 turnovers off this Highland Park team, which is probably unlikely in that, you give up 350 yards to them, they're going to run all over you.
Well, talking about Highland Park and their turnover ratio, it's not very good if you're a McKinney North fan because Matthew Stafford, who you will hear all night long, he's the number 1 rated quarterback in the nation, is already verbally committed to the University of Georgia. So he will be a Bulldog pretty soon, but just not a McKinney North Bulldog. He's on his way to Georgia. But Matthew Stafford on the year, 144 for 226, 2,870 yards, 29 touchdowns, and the turnover ratio, 3 interceptions all year. Only 3 interceptions. They don't like to turn the ball over. They haven't done it much all year. They are a +9 in the turnover department. Like I said a moment ago, 3 interceptions, and they've lost 5 fumbles, so they don't turn it over very much. And I think that's going to be the key for tonight. If McKinney North can create some turnovers there, that's the way they're going to have a shot to win this football game.
Well, last week was their closest a game all year, and if you want to look prior to that one, you'd have to look somewhere in the score of a 42-14 being their closest regular season game. That just shows you this team not only has a high-powered offense led by an elite quarterback, which say what you will about him being the number 1 quarterback in the state. I saw some things I didn't like in pregame warm-ups, but he still has put up numbers. And to top that off, they have a defense that didn't give up more than 16 points during the regular season. And so you put those two together, and it's just a pretty good team.
We are from Texas Stadium, and Teddy Saffo is down on the sidelines. And, Teddy, talk about Texas Stadium in general, and I think you have some more information on Matthew Stafford.
Brandon, and of course, Texas Stadium right now. It's actually pretty chilly down here. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but it's 53 degrees right now, and my hands are cold. But anyway, this stadium is 35 years old and opened up October 21st, 1971. But we all know that the stadium is unique because of the hole in the roof. For one thing, the reason why the hole is there is so that the football players can feel the elements, whether rain, snow, shine, and of course the fans will keep shaded under the outer parts of the roof. But it has 65,000 seats, and the goalposts have been changed out for this game, so the kickers will not be kicking through any NFL goalposts, but high school goalposts as well. Over the years, the stadium, they've added about 381 luxury seats. But as you guys know, they will be moving to a newer one in 2008 in Arlington, since the city of Arlington did approve of a brand new stadium. After Jerry Jones went to Reliant Stadium and saw that, wow, the Texans are playing here, we need to one-up them. So that's the reason why they're building a new stadium over there.
All right, thanks a lot, Teddy Saffo. We, you're talking about the hole in the roof. We are way up here. We are
in the roof.
We are right where the roof meets the walls going down to the side. It's exactly where we're at. We're, I believe, on the west side of the stadium. We are on the west side, and we are looking right up at the hole in the roof. And you were talking about the hole in the roof and why it was designed. I always heard that it was designed so that God could look down on the Dallas Cowboys. So,
well, there's lots of reasons it was designed. I mean, that's one of them.
This is a magnificent stadium, even though it's in its 35th year. it's just fun to be able to be here at Texas Stadium. It's not that the stadium is really great, because it's not. It's really worn over the years, but it's just the aura and the thought of being at Texas Stadium where Rayfield Wright and Cliff Harris and Bob Hayes and Randy White, Mel Renfro, Chuck Halley, Don Meredith, Bob Lilly, and the list goes on and on and on up to Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, and Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, nice reading of the Ring of Honor there.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking right at the Ring of Honor, and how could I not mention Roger Staubach?
Or Tom Landry, Tony Dorsett. I mean, seriously, you talk about the greats of the Cowboys. You got a ways to go before you can name it all. Now, kind of a hot button topic for me here. You look reading the Texas Stadium thing and talking, oh, one of the NFL's greatest. This is great atmosphere for football. Oh, we just wanted a new one. No, maybe it's not that great then if you wanted a new stadium. You know what I mean? So I just love the PR spin. But there's, again, something that Arlington's never going to have in the near future, just the aura of playing in Texas Stadium. You know, I've been doing football now for a few years, and this is one of the few games that I look forward to, not because of the teams playing, but because of where it was being played.
Well, let's talk about these teams playing. The Highland Park Scots versus the McKinney North Bulldogs, they share one opponent this year, one common opponent, the Mesquite. It is Mesquite Poteet Pirates, rather. And Poteet, if you'll remember, defeated McKinney North 16-0.
Yeah, and that's a game where you look at it and like, oh, well, you know, common opponents can be, you know, something that's a good comparison, but at the same time, it can also be, you know, thrown out the window because this was played earlier in the year and they played Mesquite Poteet later in the year. So while that does play a small factor, you know, it's not a true judge of where these teams are going to play.
Just to finish that thought, Highland Park beat Mesquite Poteet 55-7, while North were beaten 16-0. So you're right, Brandon. It doesn't really mean a whole lot. It does kind of give you an idea of what the two teams have done in the past, but that doesn't mean that necessarily McKinney North is going to lose tonight for sure, because McKinney North has come a long way since week 2. They have progressed and gotten better and better and better each week. Their defense has really improved over the past 3 weeks, have been absolutely tremendous, and you cannot play a better football game defensively than what the McKinney North Bulldogs played last week against Dallas Hillcrest.
Well, in terms of big plays, I'll agree with you. They still gave up 350 yards, so that is somewhat of a concern because giving up 350 yards to Hillcrest and giving up 350 yards to Highland Park are two different things. If they play that caliber of defense, Highland Park, which is generally a much better team offensively than Hillcrest is, they probably might have a little better of a field day against the North defense. So the defense has to lock it down if they're going to have a chance tonight.
The Highland Park Scots have scored 518 points this year compared to McKinney North's 343. The Scots have given up 165 on defense compared to North has given up 270. If you're looking at a quarter which might dominate, look at the second quarter. Highland Park scores 192 points. McKinney North scores 137 points. Both of them have dominated the second quarter on offense this year. So you might look at those numbers and look at the second quarter and see what kind of ball game you got at halftime.
Yeah, and that's going to be, again, the big difference. A full game's play. You can't look at Texas High, Texarkana, Texas High from last week. They had a 14-0 lead and ended up losing 38-31.
We've got the McKinney seniors, where we usually have a Sam's Club senior spotlight, but the seniors, I think we've pretty much hit all of the seniors. So we sat down with Eric Herbal and Chase Barrett and talked to them, and that's coming up here in a moment. And also coming up in a moment is the kickoff. Highland Park Scots versus the McKinney North Bulldogs. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. It is playoff time in Texas. The Highland Park Scots and the McKinney North Bulldogs. The McKinney North last week, of course, in their first playoff game ever in school history, and here they come out for their second. They got their win last week over Dallas Hillcrest, 31-15, knocked them in the mouth with 5 turnovers, and they're about to come out on the field. They've got their inflated Bulldog head down on this at the tunnel, actually, and the McKinney North Bulldogs are the visitors for tonight's football game.
Yeah, and if you look at the just reversal of fortunes here, 2 weeks in a row, Highland Park gets to play at Texas Stadium, but just on different sidelines.
Yeah, McKinney North, the visiting team tonight, come out of the visiting tunnel. They you wonder about Highland Park. Do they go ahead and, I don't know I don't know this for a fact. I have no idea, but do Highland Park, do they actually pay for Texas Stadium and say, okay, I tell you what, McKinney North, we'll pay to play here, but you have to be the visitors? And I'm assuming something like that.
Well, you know what's funny about that too is that this is basically their home away from home, because you consider how many times in the playoffs they play here and then factor in how many times they've made the playoffs. They basically have a regular season home and then they have a postseason home, which is, for what it's worth, probably nothing in and of itself, but at the same time, they play here a lot. So the luster and the mystique of playing at Texas Stadium is kind of worn off a little bit, whereas a school like McKinney North, who's never played here before, they're looking up and around, looking around the stadium. Wow, look at all the stars. Look at the names in the Ring of Honor, that kind of thing. So that could play a factor. It really could.
Names on the back of the jerseys for the first time this year on the road jerseys as Teddy Sappho makes his way out with the captains for tonight's game. For McKinney North, it will be Ryan Burke, Blake Boblitz, Cameron Eubanks, and Justin Janow walking out to the middle of the field along with Teddy Sappho and the Highland Park Scots, Matthew Stafford. One of the captains there will probably be making the coin toss there. Let's kick it down to Teddy.
Good luck. Good luck to you. Good luck.
Good luck. Okay, guys, Highland Park, you're the home team. We're going to call you blue tonight. McKinney North, you're the visitor. We'll call you white. Guys, we're going to have a good game. We'll do a lot of preventive officiating on the fields, help each other up, return the game ball to us. It's a great game. Good night. Let's be good sports about it. And at the end, we'll have a good game, and a winner will advance. You're the visitors, going to call a coin toss, silver dollar. Tails, heads, we're going to let it hit the ground. What's your call? Tails. He called? Tails. Tails? Okay.
It is tails.
It is tails.
You want the football?
You want the football. Which goal do you want to defend? Okay, turn your back right over there.
All right, you heard it there. McKinney North won the toss, and for the first time, one of the few times this year, they have elected to receive the football. Normally, they have deferred to the second half, but they actually decided to go ahead and take the football here. And they're going to try – I guess you got to think with a team like Highland Park who scores so often, you got to try to get the leg up and maybe score first.
Well, I've praised Coach Pratt all year for deferring when he won the coin toss. Not sure I like the call here, but it's a playoff. Time to throw a little kink in the hose, if you will. Try to come up with something different. That's what he's doing here.
Well, here come the Highland Park Scots running through their run-through. The McKinney North Bulldogs have yet to come out in theirs.
And if you notice how the flag guys for Highland Park got a little mixed up there, it was HHPS, which I'm not sure what that is. I think they're trying to go for Highland Park High School, but got their numbers – or their letters rather mixed up.
We'll get you ready for the Dog offense and the Bulldog defense here in a minute when you give you the starting lineups. Brandon, why don't you go ahead and give us the Highland Park Scott offense?
Yeah, it's a very high-powered offense. We'll start off on the line. Right tackle, 78 Seth Graham. Right guard, number 68 Alex Cole. At center, Paul Schafel. And left guard, James Myers. And the left tackle, Reed Prince. The wide receivers, they're going to start four of them. It's going to be the senior Morgan Hudnall, along with John Dickinson on the left side. Generally on the right side, Charlie Dickinson and Ross Bolin. They're going to rotate one of their receivers with their running back. It'll be Jake Felt. And, of course, that quarterback, the senior number 1 high school prospect in the nation, Matthew Stafford.
Why don't we go ahead right now and give you the McKinney North starting defense. And that's the McKinney North starting defense, Brandon.
Yeah, we'll go at the Highland Park defense. They run a standard 3-4. On the line, it's tackles Thomas Hill along with Ben Kendall. The nose tackle is J.K. Urigay, and that's a fun name. The linebacking core looks like this. On the outside linebackers, it's Wade Prosper along with Frederick Rousey. And the inside linebackers, David Fruce and Patrick Hunt. The cornerbacks, Josh Meredith on the left, Jarrett Sweet on the right. Free safety, James Walter, and the strong safety, John Callahan.
You should see the McKinney North Bulldogs starting offense on the field first, and here they are. We are in the national anthem, the very latter stages of the anthem. You can tell by the crowd it is playoff time in Texas. Not only just in Texas, but in Texas Stadium, which makes it even more satisfying if you're a McKinney North Bulldog. It seems like McKinney North, who started out only 4 years ago, 2002 was their first season. This is their fourth actual season to play football. Reached the playoffs for the very first time. Coach Pratt was saying the other day, just to watch the eyes of the kids as they walk out through the tunnel at practice on Tuesday, to see their jaws drop and their eyes open to figure out, wow, we've come a long way since starting out this program in 2002 all the way to Texas Stadium in 2005.
Yeah, and that's one thing they got to watch out for, the awe factor of playing in a venue like this. Can't stay very long, because Highland Park, to them, this has been there, done that thing. Now, we had the awe factor of walking into the press box for the first time, so the kids must have the equal, if not more, same type of feeling.
We are just about underway, as going back deep for McKinney North will be Cameron Eubanks along with Cameron Buford, standing at about the 3-yard line, moving left to right on the radio dial. Teeing it up for Highland Park will be Will Bonanno, the kicker. Yeah, the ball is resting at the 40-yard line. McKinney North once again will be receiving. They won the toss and they wanted the football, and they're going to get it. Bonanno stands at this 31-yard line, 9 yards away from the football. He runs to it, and this game is underway. The ball is going to bounce at the 5-yard line and go out of bounds, and that's going to be a flag on Highland Park, and McKinney North will have the option. Do you make them kick it over, or do you go ahead and take the good field position here?
I take the field position, because there's no guarantee you're going to be able to start where they're going to start right now if they make them re-kick. So I think that's will be a good move if they mark the field position.
Well, it
looks like they're going to make him kick.
They're going to make him kick again. Teddy Saffo down on the sideline. You got to be right there, right in the middle of all the players. How electric is it right now?
Oh goodness, I can't even describe right now. I even feel the energy going up down my spine right now. It's like, it's so exciting out here, and the kids, you can tell. They're pumped, and knowing it's the first time playing here at Texas Stadium. You can ask for much more. You can feel the aura of the stadium, as what Brandon was talking about earlier. It's phenomenal.
Well, I'm glad they're kicking off again, because we failed to mention that it was the Beef O'Brady's kickoff, and we'll get to do that here on this second kick, as the Beef O'Brady's kickoff will actually be moved back 5 yards to the 35-yard line, and Bonanno will try to kick this one off for the second time tonight.
And also noticed he moved the ball from the far left side down to the middle of the field.
But two guys have not moved back, and that's Eubanks and Buford, and it'll be Eubanks taking the ball at the 7-yard line. Comes straight up the middle, now runs left hash, and he is popped at the 24-yard line, and that's where McKinney North will set up shop. 1st and 10 at the 24.
Yeah, I was afraid that might happen. Not only is this Highland Park offense and defense pretty good, but by means of their backups, their special teams is just as good. And I was afraid that by making them re-kick, that this was going to happen. They could have had the ball up at the 35-yard line, but instead they're now back at the 24.
Herbal, the quarterback, will bring his troops out on the field. Herbal is 107 out of 181, 8 interceptions, 1,797 yards, 15 touchdowns. And the McKinney North Bulldogs will come out in the 2 receivers set to the left, 1 to the right. Shotgun formation for Eric Herbal. Chase Barrett stands just to the right of Herbal in shotgun. 1st and 10, the first play of the game for McKinney North. Snap is back. Herbal drops back 3 steps, wants to throw the home run ball down the middle, and he has a man, but Chase Barrett is about 5 yards short of the football. And it looked like Barrett wasn't really running his route out there. Barrett was kind of caught in no man's land, really wasn't expecting the ball. However, the ball was thrown his way. It's incomplete, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, it's nothing Barrett did. He got tangled up with his teammate Jeff Olson, along with Frederick Rousey in coverage there. Got tripped up a little bit, and it went just beyond his range. And his route, or rather his route was cut short because of the fact that he got tangled up with the teammate and the defender. 2nd down and 10. 2 receivers to the left side, 1 to the near. Chase Barrett in the backfield. Man goes in motion. Eubanks handoff. Barrett up the middle. He's going to gain a few yards out to about the 28-yard line. Yeah, that's a nice 6-yard gain for Barrett. If he can continue that type of ratio tonight, this offense will have some success. They need Barrett more than they need Herbal to hit his passes, because if Barrett doesn't work, the offense struggles a lot more than if Herbal doesn't work. So if you can get Barrett going early, things should be fine.
3rd down and 5. 11-17 left to go, first quarter. No score. We're just underway. Third down and 5. Herbal in shotgun formation. Everybody up tight on the line for the Highland Park. And they're going to fake the hand to Barrett, and Herbal overthrows Eubanks. He was wide open all alone, and he would have had the first down and more. He was by himself.
Yeah, that was basically a 10-man blitz, possibly 9. One of them may not have gone, but the coverage was pretty sparse there, forcing Herbal to throw early. But if he connects there, that was about a 3-yard out. But if he connects, that turns into a big double-digit gainer.
Brandon Dunn will go back to punt, stand on his own 15-yard line. He has a 33.3 average on the season with 38 punts. He's going to stand back there, he gets the snap, and he punts this one away. It's an end-over-end kick that bounces at the 40-yard line, takes a north bounce back at the 27. It's going to be taken by their Highland Park up man, and that's Dickinson. He's got the corner, 40, 35, 30, 25, look out, he could be gone. 10, 5, kiss him goodbye. Highland Park leads this football game with 10:41 left to go in the first quarter.
71-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Charlie Dickinson runs it back, and just like that, Highland Park has the lead. He got a seal on that outside corner. And listen to that Highland Park faithful. And what's strange about Highland Park, they have a different kicker for extra points. Clayton Thomas will actually come out and do the kicking on extra points, while Will Bonanno will do the field goals. A man comes in late for Highland Park as they only had 10 men on the field. And Clayton Thomas trying to put this one through. The kick is very high, and it's very good. 7-0 with 10:41 left to go here in the first quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. The kickoff is underway, and it's going to be taken by Cameron Buford, and he is popped at the 19-yard line, goes down hard, and they're actually going to give him progress out to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, that Beef O'Brady's kickoff went about to the 4-yard line. On the far side, so right now Bonanno's kicking to all sides of the field. He opened up kicking to the near side and went out of bounds. Then he kicked it down the middle, and that time he went to the far side, but not far enough to go out of bounds, forcing the returner there to field it at the 4-yard line. He got up to the 21. So now it's time for the offense to try to set it up again and get at least something going. And it's going to be key for Herbal right now after throwing 2 incompletions on that first drive.
Well, it's going to be 1st and 10 for McKinney North. Shotgun formation. 2 receivers to the left, 1 away over here to the right side. Barrett now moves over to the right side. Man goes in motion, and that's going to be Eubanks. They're going to hand off to Barrett up the middle. Has a few yards for a moment. Flagged down, and he's pushed all the way back to the 17-yard line. And on the stop is John Callahan for Highland Park.
Take it off the boards. We're going to have an illegal shift. 2 men in motion at the same time, one of them not set. It is an illegal shift on McKinney North. So that's their first penalty, and it'll go for 5 yards.
10:28 left to go here in the first quarter. 7-0. Highland Park already on top after a huge punt return by Charlie Dickinson moments ago. And now McKinney North gets the ball back, and it's going to be declined, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, Chase Barrett didn't get a lot, so if they did decline it, basically they're saving it down. They're going to give Barrett 2 yards on the carry. So that, 2 yards versus the losing of a down, rather, or keeping it 1st and 15. I'm actually surprised you don't see that more often.
Well, it'll be 2nd down and about 8. Now whistles blow again. They're going to try to figure out what's going on.
Now they got to
there.
reset the play clock. They started that too early because the ball wasn't set yet.
So it'll be 2nd down and about 8. The ball at the 23-yard line. Moving left to right is McKinney North. Herbal sends a man in motion. That's Eubanks again. This time they're going to hand off to him, running right tackle. Makes a move up the middle and has the 28-yard line before he goes down. That'll bring up 3rd and about 3 or 4 yards. On the tackle for Highland Park is Patrick Hunt.
Yeah, just a simple coming in motion in toward the backfield by Eubanks. And we've seen that play before where Chase Barrett essentially turns into a lead blocker. But you got to give credit there to Wade Prosper as he was being blocked by the lineman and was able to come off that block and make the tackle before Eubanks got something big.
3rd down and about 2, 3 possibly. Yeah, about 3 yards to go. 2 receivers to the left. They've come out in that left set on every play. Now Barrett moves over to the left side of Herbal. Scoots right behind him. Man in motion is Buford. And this time they're going to hand off Barrett. Big hole right tackle. Crosses the 30, close to the first down before he's knocked backwards. He had the 32-yard line. That's forward progress, and that's going to move the sticks. On the stop for Highland Park is the linebacker Patrick Hunt again.
Yeah, and this is something that Chase Barrett does so well, but it's also something Highland Park does well. Chase Barrett finds the hole, and he explodes up into it. However, Highland Park's got a great pursuit defense. We've seen Chase Barrett turn that play into a big gainer. This time it was only 4 yards. It was a first down at least, but the Highland Park defense does a lot of converging onto the ball carrier really quick.
David Douglas and Cameron Eubanks to the left. Cameron Buford to the right. Shotgun for Eric Herbal. Barrett stands to his right. Gets the snap. Drops back 3 steps. Looking over left side. Now looks right. Throwing the home run ball down to Buford, and it's incomplete over his head. Buford couldn't get away from the cornerback over there. It was great coverage by Jarrett Sweet, who really was blanketing Cameron Buford over there.
Yeah, I think there might have been some contact after that 5-yard barrier where they're not allowed to contact. It could have been incidental. It just depends on how you want to call it. I do like the fact the referees are letting them play versus calling everything. So far, we've only seen 2 penalties, and one of them has been declined. And we're about 4 minutes into this first half. First half.
It'll be second down and 10. 7-0. Highland Park on top here early. 8:55 left to go, first quarter. Herbal drops back, wants to throw the screen out to Eubanks. Caught 35 and can't break away from the tackle right at the 35 of Patrick Hunt, who has been all over the place so far early in this football game. It'll be third down and about 7 to go.
Eubanks has to do a better job of using his blockers. He had an All-American candidate center in Eric Burke there setting up a block, but he decided to go around it, and the guy Burke would have had made the tackle.
We got to say Ryan Burke for his family.
I'm
That's
sorry.
Okay. It'll be third down and about 7 with 8:18 left to go, first quarter. McKinney North moving left to right. Herbal in shotgun formation as always. Jeff Olson in the slot. Herbal drops back 2 steps, looking left side. Wants to throw it out there, and David Douglas can't get to the ball. It's incomplete, and Herbal has just not been on target tonight. You know, we talked about the crown, and Teddy, why don't we go ahead and kick it down to you and talk about the crown on the field, and that could be playing tricks with Eric Herbal's mind.
You're right. I mean, Eric Herbal has been off. I mean, this is probably the 4th pass right now. He had a chance to hit a receiver, but this crowd is very noticeable on the field. I mean, standing right here on the sideline, it seems like it dips on one end, standing from this other side, standing on the other side of the field. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Teddy. You know, Brett Favre had a tremendous amount of problems at this field earlier on in his career. He could not figure out that crown. I think Eric Herbal is going through some of that right now. Brandon Dunn back to punt. Look out. Charlie Dickinson ran the last one back. It's going to bounce, and it's going to bounce again at the 26-yard line. Dickinson picks it up, trying to find that corner again. And this time he's not going to be able to escape Cameron Eubanks, who knocks him down at the 27-yard line. And Coyle Permetter was also there to make the stop. So Highland Park will actually come out on offense for the first time tonight with 7:53 left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, this time it was a 37 net punt, a lot better than his negative 29 net punt the last time. But more importantly, Highland Park's going to start inside their own 30. That could have been a big return if Coyle Permetter wasn't careful there, but he stayed with them long enough to at least get a hand on the jersey. Now we're going to see what the Highland Park offense brings to the table in their spread offense.
And now we get to see Matthew Stafford, the number 1 rated quarterback in the nation. He's going to stand in shotgun formation. He's going to look left side, throws it over there, and it's caught. Big gainer already, 35 out to the 40. And 42-yard line is where he's going to go down. And that pass was right on the money, and he threw that one out to Charlie Dickinson. Once again, Charlie Dickinson's been all over the field tonight.
Yeah, that's a pretty good gainer to start off with. The ball was at the 28, now all of a sudden it's at the 42. So a gain of 14 on your very first play. And they run 3 receivers to one side, and the middle receiver has a big gap there.
Brandon Dunn made that last stop. Here's 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line, moving right to left. Stafford wants to throw right side, has nowhere to throw. Now throws the home run ball down the field. Great coverage, but it's caught at the 25-yard line, and that's going to be a touchdown for Highland Park. Could be pushing off. There's a flag down at the 28-yard line, and we'll see what this one is. It could be a push-off by the wide receiver, and on the catch was Jake Felt, the running back, coming out.
Yeah, Coyle Permetter went up for the interception, and all of a sudden we're in the air and you fall forward. You know, that's generally a clue you've been pushed off of, and that's what happened there. And so it's a big gainer, but at the same time, that was a good play by the receiver because Permetter's going to catch or make the interception there because he had perfect position on it.
Well, bring this one back. Highland Park is caught for the interference there. So the McKinney North faithful are very happy. They're on their feet cheering for this one. 7:23 left to go in the first quarter. Highland Park on top, 7-0.
Now, on the plus side for Highland Park, it's still first down, and 20 is not a lot to them. On their first play, they got 14.
Ball's going to be spotted at the 27-yard line. So instead of the 42, it's going to be the 27. It'll be first and a truckload. First and 25, call it. Shotgun formation for Stafford. They're able to make up yards in a hurry. He drops back 3 steps, looks over the right side, now looks to the middle, and a pass is incomplete. Great coverage, flag down. We'll see what that is.
Interference going to come in the form of the linebacker in coverage there, Mike Smith, who was with him, but unfortunately when the ball's in the air and you're with him holding on to him, you can't do that. That's going to be a penalty on Smith.
And Kenny Alexander was the guy who actually pushed the receiver. So either Smith or Kenny Alexander, we hate to give credit on that kind of thing to we hate to give bad news to the parents, but oh well. 7:18 left to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Highland Park on top, and it's been very ugly here for Highland Park starting off early in their offensive formation.
Well, you know, it's funny. Now the ball's back at the 28 thanks to that illegal contact on McKinney North, which is where Highland Park started out this drive. It's going to be first and 10, 4 plays into the drive. It's just an automatic first down that kills them because you had a first and 25.
Well, the ball will be at the 28-yard line. So first and 10. This is going to be a fake the hand. He's going to throw it out the right side. Dickinson once again, 35-40. Look out, 45-50. 45 trying to break a tackle and does. And now he's down at the 38-yard line in McKinney North territory. And I'm telling you what, they're just a big play offense.
Yeah, there's no question about that. That's another 30-plus gainer there.
The ball is going to be spotted.
35 to be exact.
At the 38. And they have some big play weapons as Brandon Dunn and Cole Permetter both make the stop. And probably a touchdown saving stop, because I'm telling you what, that Dickinson kid can run like the wind. He's very small, but he can really turn it on.
Yeah, a lot of speed out there in that middle receiver.
Shotgun formation. Stafford gets the ball, handoff up the middle, and he's going to be met by Micah Moore and goes down at the 38-yard line, no gain. Nice stop there by that defensive line. Micah Moore comes up strong. Jake Felt got the carry, and he felt a lot of pain by Micah Moore there.
Yeah, if you look at the running backs for the Highland Park Scots offense, the leading rusher, 790 yards. So that tells you this is not a running team. Which actually can make them more dangerous, because if all of a sudden they run and you're not expecting it, that can be a big play for them.
They'll give him progress, give him a yard, so second down and 9. Morgan Hundahl, the big receiver, will come out near side along with 2 other receivers. Cole Permetter comes up tight. Stafford wants to throw left side. The home run ball down the field, and it's incomplete, way overthrown. He was trying to hit his wide receiver, Morgan Hundahl, but Hundahl couldn't catch up with it. Hundahl on the year, 13 touchdowns, 905 yards. On coverage for McKinney North was Bo Burns.
Yeah, Burns did a great job out there and staying with the receiver, but more importantly, he jammed him at the line. You cannot give these Highland Park receivers a clear lane down the field. You're going to have to seed that with the slot players, because they play a yard off the line of scrimmage. But once you get a receiver on the line, you got to keep him there for a second or two. That really disrupts this offense.
Ball at the 36-yard line. It'll be third down and 9. Stafford drops straight back. 7-step drop, sets up the screen. It's caught. Plenty of room. 30. Cuts it near side and is going to be close to the first down, and I believe he has it. That is going to be Felt once again making the catch. I thought that was Felt. No, it's not. It's Hundahl once again, and Bo Burns comes up and makes the stop. So Hundahl has been very impressive so far tonight. First down and 10, 5:39 left to go first quarter. 7-0 Highland Park on top early in this one. Again, if you just joined us, it was a Charlie Dickinson punt return, which got us to our score. Here's Stafford, the quarterback, number 1 quarterback in the nation, drops back to the 35, throws it across the middle, a bullet, and it's incomplete. He fired it right at the 2-yard line, trying to find his receiver down there. And Charlie Dickinson couldn't come up with this one because Martin Holmes was in great coverage. Holmes was right there, super glued to Charlie Dickinson.
Well, and not close enough to get a penalty. He did perfect coverage, was right behind him, and as soon as the ball comes, leaps in front of the receiver, knocks it down without creating contact. That's one of the best ways to try to stop this offensive receivers. Not an easy thing to do, but definitely it beats trying to get pressure on the quarterback or any other number of things you can try to do to him.
2nd down and 10. Stafford gets it's going to fake it to Felt, drops back, wants to throw, looks over across the middle. He's under pressure. Kirsten Williams chasing him. Now he throws it out to the right side. It's incomplete. Great coverage by James San Miguel. The ball falls incomplete. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, not great job by San Miguel in terms of coverage, but he put his hands up in front of the intended receiver there, Jake Felt, temporarily blinding his side of the ball, and by the time he caught up with where the ball was, it hit his hands and bounced out. So he did a good job in restricting the view of the receiver.
If you're from the outside looking in, it looks like McKinney North versus McKinney because Highland Park has that blue and gold look. They have the gold pants and the navy blue jerseys with the golden numerals and the blue helmets. McKinney North out here in their all white with their Cleveland Brown looking helmets, except replace the dark brown with the blue stripe. Stafford, shotgun formation. Somebody moved early. Stafford's going to throw out right side. Has a man wide open, and it's incomplete. It couldn't hit Dixon. In and out of his hands. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, it turns out to be a good thing for McKinney North, but that should have been an offensive penalty, dead ball, because the lineman moved a clear second before the ball was snapped. No, it was Highland Park. Their left guard moved just a hair early, but luckily for the Scots, James Mears wasn't caught by the officials there, and that'll bring up a 4th down. So the defense really dodged a bullet there in terms of not being caught and the penalty not being called.
A 43-yard field goal for Bonanno is up, and it is very high, long enough, and it's good. Bonanno nails it from 43 yards out. That is his longest of the year. 10-0. Highland Park on top. 4:59 left to go. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. 4:59 left to go in the first quarter clock. 10-0. Highland Park on top. We get ready for the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. It's up. It's very high. Looks like an NFL kick. It's going to be taken by Cameron Buford at the 2-yard line. Comes up to the 15, cuts it back out to the 20, 25, and that's where he's going to go down right at the 20. Well, he might actually have another yard out to the 26-yard line, and it's Patrick Grinnan who brings him down.
I don't know if you missed it there, but he fumbled, but McKinney North was able to pounce upon that one and actually gained a yard in the process. He would have been down at about the 25. Instead, they're going to mark it down at the 26.
First and 10 at the 26. Teddy, let's talk about this McKinney North offense a little bit. What do you got down there?
Well, first off, after walking around listening to some of what the coach was saying, they feel that their wide receivers can beat the Highland Park secondary. We'll see here on this play, and just bring it out to me right after this.
All right, Teddy. 4:51 left to go first quarter. 10-0. Highland Park on top. McKinney North coming back out, left to right. Sends Max Butler in motion. Handoff to Chase Barrett up the middle. Big hole 30, 35-yard line. Close to a first down, about a yard short. 2nd down and 1. Teddy, talk to us.
Also, too, they're also satisfied with the secondary as well. I mean, if you realize, they've only scored one offensive touch. Actually, one touchdown has been on the kickoff. The secondary has been playing really well, and they're hoping they can keep it up as well.
All right, thanks a lot, Teddy. On the tackle for Highland Park was the cornerback, James Walter, comes up, makes a stop on, or actually the safety, James Walter, comes up, makes a stop on Barrett. Barrett had a nice hole right up the middle, right behind the 4th-ranked center in the nation, Ryan Berg. This is going to be a handoff. Barrett once again running right tackle. This time he's clogged up, but it's going to be close to a first down. Teddy, talk to us. You're right there. Can you see whether it's a first down or not?
Players can move out of the way a little bit. Maybe I could try and get a little bit, but it looks like you're going to be just slightly short. This crown is giving me a little bit of trouble, but it's a first down.
All right.
From your perspective.
From Teddy's perspective, it's a first down, and it is. Ball will go out to the 36-yard line. 2 runs by Chase Barrett has the first down.
And right now, this is their farthest down the field that they've had a first down. It's at their own 36.
This is something that they haven't done a whole lot so far tonight, is run the football. They came out throwing a little bit. Herbal hasn't been on like he normally is. There's two-man in motion, but Barrett gets the handoff up to the 39-yard line. He'll go maybe just shy of the 39. So a couple of yards there. It'll be second down for McKinney North.
Yeah, it looks like they might have dodged a bullet. I thought I saw 2 men in motion too, which is illegal. You can't do that. It's called an illegal shift. But apparently that went by. But there were definitely 2 men moving at the same time.
Fred Rousey comes up on the stop for Highland Park. It'll be second down and 7. So go ahead and give Barrett 3 yards somehow out of that.
Well, he's good.
They'll mark the ball in between the 38 and the 39-yard line. Moving left to right, McKinney North. 2 receivers to the left side, 2 receivers to either side, actually. Herbal wants to pass, looking over the right side. He's hit as he throws. Wide open is Aiden Williams. Caught it at the 25-20, 15-10. Kiss him goodbye. It is touchdown time in Texas, and listen to this McKinney North crowd. Oh, my goodness. 2:53 left to go in the first quarter. And McKinney North has cut this lead from 10-0 to 10-6, awaiting the PAT.
It ain't over, Highland Park. Still early. You may be up 10-0, but we've got a guy named Aiden Williams on our side who only catches long touchdowns.
62 yards on the touchdown reception from Herbal to Aiden Williams. Boblets will come on to kick this PAT. He has been near perfect all year. The All-State kicker will put it at the 10-yard line, sets the tee down. 2:53 left to go first quarter. McKinney North trying to kick this extra point and make it a 10-7 game. The kick is up. It's very high, and it's very good. 10-7, 2:53 left to go first quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. A new score at Texas Stadium, 10-7. Highland Park in the lead, but McKinney North cuts it down there on a long touchdown pass to Aiden Williams, 62 yards to be exact. The drive was 4 plays, 74 yards, took exactly 2 minutes off the clock, and this McKinney North crowd is going nuts.
Well, they have a right to be. This is a game.
The Beef O'Brady's kick by Blake Boblets is high. It's going to go towards the left corner of the end zone and is taken by Dickinson at the 4-yard line. Comes up, makes a move at the 15. Makes a move towards the middle of the field and is swarmed and tackled at the 22-yard line by McKinney North. First and 10 for Highland Park as they come out with 2:44 left to go in the first quarter, and the tackle was made by Cameron Eubanks.
That kick return was doomed almost from the beginning for Dickinson because he fielded out with his back to the return team, which means he has to get his momentum started a lot later than if you field it with your front to their side. And then once he did, he made a couple nifty moves, but you got to give credit to the boys in white. They stayed in pursuit, didn't let him get very far, only to the 22.
It's only one quarter, but you take away the punt return, and McKinney North will be leading this football game right now. This is a true running shoot formation, and they hand off left side. He's going to be able to get the 25-yard line and bust through some more yardage, and that's a great run by Alex Carroll. The running back for Highland Park has 127 carries, 790 yards, 6.2 average, and you can see why on there. He just never gave up. 15 touchdowns on the year. He gained 6 yards on the play, and I don't know how.
Yeah, if you look at McKinney North's biggest weakness in some games, it's been their rushing defense, and their secondary has played really great of late, so you might see Highland Park resort to the rush just a little bit more.
Zach Plummer and James San Miguel make the tackle on first down. Here's the second down carry, and it's going to go to James Felt, and he's going to go out to the 30-yard line, so give him a couple there, and on the stop is Kirsten Williams. So this will bring up a big third down already. Deep in their, kind of deep, semi-deep in their own territory. The ball's at the 30-yard line, but if against Highland Park, that's very deep.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, this is, again, a big play offense right now. When you look at third and short, any play they have is in their arsenal for this situation.
McKinney North defense needs a big push here. Third down and 2. 1:53 on the first quarter clock. Highland Park leads 10-7. Stafford gets he's going to hand off to the right side. This time McKinney North is right there and meet him at the line of scrimmage and push him back to the 20-yard line. They're going to give him forward progress out to the 29-yard line, way short of the first down. And coming up on the stop is Ryan Selby-Carney, among others. Big play there.
Yeah, you stopped Carroll for no gain on a third and a long 2 situation. Now you're forcing them to punt, but they don't look like they're going to punt.
Well, they don't. It'll be 4th down and 2 at their own 29-yard line. They're going to go for it.
Come on, defense.
2 receivers to the right side, 2 men in the backfield. And now he's going to quick kick it, and he gets it out. No men back to return this punt. Brandon Dunn's the closest one, and he's way up, and he knocks a guy down at the 35-yard line. A nice hit by Brandon Dunn, but the ball's going to rest at the 22 deep in McKinney North territory. But I think, you got to be happy with that, forcing them to punt there deep in their own territory and take the ball at your own 22-yard line with 58 seconds left to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's a nice 48-yard punt for Stafford there. But again, a lot of that coming on the bounce. You almost kind of expected a quick kick, but I don't think they quite expected a rush to be put on, as Micah Moore almost got a hand on that one. Had he did, that would have been a big play. But at the same time, he forced the offense to punt. That's now 2 possessions, on their only 2 possessions, where they haven't gotten the ball into the end zone. Something to build upon with this defense.
58 seconds on the first quarter clock, 10-7. Highland Park in the lead here over McKinney North. McKinney North has the ball at their own 22-yard line. Send a man in motion. That's Eubanks. And they're going to hand off Barrett. Nope, they're going to keep it. And Herbal wants to throw it over the middle. That's Cameron Buford, and he overshoots him by a couple of steps. It falls incomplete. 51 seconds on the first quarter clock. The man in coverage was Jared Sweet, and he was sweet on that play once again, too.
Yeah, one of the things that Highland Park does is play a very physical brand of defense in the secondary. They will hang it with the receiver, and it seems like that's throwing these McKinney North guys off because they have the ability to shake the defender within the 5 yard and just streak down the field. It's not so easy against Highland Park.
2nd down and 10 for McKinney North. Moving left to right here at Texas Stadium. A hole in the roof and all. Sends Eubanks in motion. They're going to hand off Barrett. Big hole up the middle. 25-30. Look out. 35 and down at the 38-yard line. Chase Barrett runs for a first down with 45 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
It's a nice 17-yard run there for Chase Barrett to put him at 7 carries, 41 yards for the game. And like I've said many times this year, when Chase Barrett works, this offense works. And that's what he did there. Found a simple hole through the middle, and once he got to full speed, he had to depend on the secondary of Highland Park to bring him down, and they did.
And Wade Prospero was the man who finally brought him down. It'll be 1st down and 10, 28 seconds and rolling. Handoff Barrett trying to run left tackle, moves it over to right tackle, gains a couple of yards out to the 40. Actually going to give him a 43, a great spot.
Well, no, that was
Barrett.
The line pushing the defensive line 2-3 yards down the field. So by the time Barrett got to the line, he was already gained 2 yards, and he ran down the line of scrimmage for another 2 yards. But what a push there by the McKinney North offensive line.
Patrick Hunt and James Walter make the stop on Chase Barrett. A 4-yard gain somehow. They're going to, well, that is the end of the first quarter, and you can hear this McKinney North crowd. And I'll bet you there are people in McKinney right now screaming as loud as these people are right here. That is the first quarter, 10-7, Highland Park on top. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM.
Want to help secure the future of a student right here in Texoma? You can't. Come take the Viking Challenge Monday, September 26th.
That Ayton Williams call might have been enough to be a homer call, Monty.
You think?
Might have been. I don't know. I'll have to go back and listen before I final decide, but that might have been.
I don't know that would be something I'm shooting for.
I don't know. You can't make a bad name for yourself on homer call, unless you're that Fort Worth hockey guy.
Or SMU.
Well, that guy just is an idiot anyway. I can't stand Craig Swan. And I have to work with him every time.
All right. Here we go. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Now.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. We were just about to come back.
Come on, Chase. Dang it. No gain, though. Okay. Now, there's a nice carry by Chase if you want to look at the fact that he didn't lose yardage because he was hitting the backfield, and like he has all year, has that uncanny ability to spin around the defensive when they try to tackle him by the ankles and fall forward, and that's what happened there. And he didn't lose yardage even though he was hitting the backfield. Bring up a 3rd and 6.
Ball will be spotted at the 43-yard line. Moving right to left now is McKinney North. Third down and 6. Big play here. 11:20 left to go in the second quarter. Shotgun formation. Herbal wants to throw. Looks right. Now looks towards the middle. Looks left. Throws it all alone is his receiver, David Douglas, and he makes the catch. And there's a flag down. Late hit on Highland Park. This could be huge. Patrick Brennan came over and hit the receiver late, and I believe that was David Douglas who made the catch.
Well, it's not that he hit him late, Monty. He said he threw him down once he was out of bounds.
26 yards on the catch to David Douglas. All the way down to the Highland Park 31. It's going to be a personal foul against Highland Park. Moving on down.
Like I said in the pregame, this team is not used to playing close games, and that was just a dumb penalty. Most of the time, personal fouls are stupid penalties. He was out of bounds, and then he threw him to the ground. That's just no excuse for that.
Moving right to left is McKinney North. They're knocking at the door now at the 16-yard line. Down 10-7, 11:09 left to go in the second quarter. And you got to be kidding me. Shotgun, handoff, Barrett up the middle. That's Eubanks rather, has the 8-yard line.
Those Eubanks? Come on, North.
Ball at the 13-yard line.
Pass intended there for Jeff Olson, but he let him just a bit too much, Monty. That was out of his range. He tried to one-hand that, but Jeff Olson's not a receiving tight end. He's mostly a blocking tight end.
Third down and 7. Big play here for McKinney North. Shotgun formation for Herbal. Sends a man in motion. He's going to hand off to Eubanks. Cuts it up the middle. Has the 10-yard line. Not going to have the first, but they will definitely be in territory to tie this football game up. On the stop was David Foose along with Thomas Hill.
So now we're going to put it in Blake Boblitz's hands. He definitely has the range as he's one of the best kickers within the district. And he has the ability to tie this game up, but it's on the far left hash mark. That could play a factor.
Well, Boblitz will kick this one through with 9:48 left to go. We've got a tie ball game at Texas Stadium. Highland Park and McKinney North with 9:47 left to go in the second quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. The Quail onside for McKinney North. They drop back now and they will set it back deep. They will try to punch this Beef O'Brady's kick back as far as they can. Back deep to return is Dickinson. They probably want to kick it away from him. And guess who gets it? Charlie Dickinson. He's going to take it at the 4. Comes up to the 10. Look out. He's got the 25 and met down right at the 25-yard line. Bo Burns was right there among others.
Well, I saw a clear push in the back on this return, Monty. I don't know how it was missed. Clearly saw 2 hands on the numbers of the back and then a push, and the guy falls to the ground.
Ball at the 26-yard line for Highland Park. They move left to right now. Tie ball game. 9:38 left to go, second quarter. And oh, what a game this has been so far. Matthew Stafford, the all-world quarterback for Highland Park, on his way to Georgia, is caught in the tie ball game right here at Texas Stadium. 3 receivers to the left side. And they're going to hand up. No, they're going to fake the hand, throw it out in the flats, and it's caught. And right there on the stop is McKinney North. James San Miguel comes up, makes the stop, and oh, what a play that was. He was trying to hit his receiver out there who actually did make the catch, and that was Hudnall who made the catch in the flats. and right there was San Miguel as soon as he caught it.
Yeah, this defense is playing really inspired after giving up a few first downs on the opening drive. They've really played solid to this point, and even on that opening drive for Highland Park, they held them to a field goal.
Ball at the 27 after a 1-yard gain. 3 receivers come near side. Stafford wants to throw that side, and he throws it, and it's caught by Dickinson right at the first down marker. In coverage is Martin Holmes, but I believe that's going to be enough for a first down, so they'll move the sticks at the 38-yard line. I tell you what, Teddy Sappho, there has to be a lot of excited McKinney North Bulldogs down on that sideline. Talk about the enthusiasm down there.
Oh, you can imagine, because, I mean, first off, playing a team like Highland Park, everybody's expecting, well, what's Highland Park going to do to us? Well, the question is, what's McKinney North doing to this Highland Park team? It's phenomenal what they're doing right now. Coach Pratt is getting exactly what he wants out of his team at this point of the game. Back to you guys.
Coach Sean Pratt can relate with these kids. He actually played on this stadium as a high school player for Plano. Stafford, hands off, up the middle, big hole, look out, 40, 45, up the middle, 50, and brought down after the first down into McKinney North territory at the 44-yard line, rather. It was a delayed handoff, a 19-yard run for Jake Felt, who got the carry, and finally James San Miguel and Martin Holmes bring him down, but not after a huge 19-yard run there.
Another block in the back missed up. This time downfield, it was Charlie Dickinson, and he got up expecting to see a flag. He looked in all directions and was glad when he didn't see one.
First down and 10 for Highland Park, now inside McKinney North territory. 8:13 left to go in the second quarter clock. Tie ball game, 10-10. Stafford, the quarterback, sends 3 receivers out to the right side. Watch out for Hudnall. He's split wide left. He's the main weapon over there. Stafford looks his way, and now flags and whistles blow. It may have taken too much time. Or I think it's going to be, is it a false start?
Timeout. They got it right before.
We're going to take one, too. 7:55 left to go in the second quarter, all tied up. 10-10. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Stafford back to pass over the middle, and it is caught by, Dickinson makes the catch at the 15, down at the 11-yard line. A big play there. Matthew Stafford shows why he's going to Georgia. He fired it across the middle, 34 yards to his receiver, Charlie Dickinson, and Dickinson made the catch, and now they're in great territory and great position right at the 11-yard line. I tell you what, Charlie Dickinson has just been huge tonight for Highland Park.
Yeah, Monty, that pass puts Matthew Stafford at 104 yards passing. 83 of them have gone to Dickinson.
3 receivers to the right side. A new man in the backfield for Highland Park, and that's Ryan Fanning. He will stand to the right side of Stafford, who's going to quarterback sneak it up the middle, and he's got a lot of room, and he's in for the touchdown. An 11-yard touchdown for Matthew Stafford, who's not known for his legs, more so for his arm, but he scores this time via the quarterback draw right up the middle for 11 yards.
And the sad thing is there was a defender on his back who couldn't make the tackle. Didn't even try to wrap him up. It didn't appear. And you put Stafford in a foot race with the defensive lineman, you're generally going to give the advantage to the Highland Park quarterback.
16-0, awaiting the PAT by Clayton Thomas. 7:22 left to go in the second quarter. Highland Park on top, awaiting the PAT here. The holder is Ross Bolin. The deep snapper is Sam Bennett, and Bennett gets it back. The kick by Clayton Thomas is good. 17-0, or 17-10 rather. Highland Park over McKinney North with 7:22 left to go in the second quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. No sympathy for McKinney North right here. 17-10, Highland Park in the lead. 7:22 left to go here in the second quarter. And oh, what a game this has been.
Well, so what a playoff game's supposed to be, Monty. This has been a fun one to this point.
Donato will not even drive to the football. He actually just takes a step and boots it deep to the 20-yard line. It's going to be taken by an up-man look at 35. For a moment, he had a seam, but he wasn't able to have the speed to break through it. And that was Brandon Dunn who came up with it on the 18-yard return. The ball will be spotted at the 38-yard line in McKinney North territory, and that's where they will start up on this drive here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Brandon Dunn was backpedaling when he took that one and cut off Cameron Buford. who was running up to the ball. If Buford has that, he might have gotten that burst of speed. However, that hole might have developed or might not have developed by the time Buford got there. So, 6-1 situation.
17-10 our score. Highland Park just scored on a 6-play, 74-yard drive, capped off by an 11-yard touchdown by Matthew Stafford. Eubanks goes in motion. They're going to hand off to him running right side. Has the 41, 42, and down at the 40. Well, they're going to say he stopped at the 42-yard line. So McKinney North really needs to come back and just hit right back at him.
They don't understand that play. I mean, that's the fourth time Eubanks has taken that handoff out of the slot position there, going in motion, and it's only resulted in 13 yards. It's a hair over a 3-yard per carry average.
2nd down and 6, a long 6.
And the longest carry was 5, so I don't understand why they keep going to it.
Boblitz and Eubanks in the slot. Eubanks goes in motion. They're going to fake it to him. Handoff Barrett, running left tackle. Pushes one Highland Park defender. Tries to find the corner. Has the first down. And there's a flag down at the 47-yard line in Highland Park territory. It's going to be a face mask, I believe, on Highland Park.
Yeah, it looked like the defender came from around and grabbed Barrett's face mask. And it's definitely downfield, and by the time Barrett got there, although Highland Park's saying it's against McKinney North.
John Callahan actually was the guy who came up with the face mask, came up with the big handful of mask, and now what are they saying, Randy?
They're saying it's a downfield hold, so they're going to get some yards out of the Barrett carry, but not enough.
It was a 12-yard carry, was obviously enough for the first down. Barrett had the corner over here, and now they're going to mark it back. Randy Allen has got to be very happy, the head coach of the Highland Park Scots. He's 229, 68, and 6 in his 25th season. Get this, at Highland Park, he's 76 and 9. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a decent play at least because they gain yards but don't get a loss of a down. However, they do, negate the Chase Barrett carry.
Well, the ball will be at the 44-yard line. They're going to hand off. This is the end-around reverse, triple reverse, out to the 40, 45, look out. 40 and out of bounds at the 39-yard line. They actually handed it off to Ayton Williams coming back around. They started it with Cameron Eubanks, sending him in motion. They handed it off to him, who in return pitched it back to Ayton Williams, a 22-yard pickup all the way down to Highland Park territory, and the tricks are coming out of the bag. James Walter ends up making the stop.
Just to show the difference between these two offenses, McKinney has 5 first downs, 4 of them have come from rushing, whereas Highland Park has 7 first down, 5 of them have come from passing.
Herbal in shotgun formation has Boblitz and Eubanks in the slot to the left side. Ayton Williams split out wide right. Jeff Olson, the tight end, in the slot. Barrett now moves to the left side. He's going to fake the hand to him, throw it across the middle, and he has open Eubanks, and it's knocked away at the last minute. A great defensive play by Josh Meredith, who makes the play right at the 8-yard line, knocking the ball away from Eubanks.
It just hung up there a hair too long. If Herbal could have thrown a little bit more of a rope, that would have been a better situation. That allowed the defense to get back off their route and go converge to where the ball was going to be. They got to the receiver right as the ball did, knocked it away.
2nd down and 10, 5:53 left to go in the second quarter. Highland Park on top, 17-10. This has been a heavyweight fight so far. Both teams throwing punches. And you would think McKinney North would be out of this football game by now, but McKinney North says no. Big handoff to Chase Barrett, big hole for a moment, but it closes at the 34-yard line. One poll I saw as Wade Prosper and James Walter comes up and makes the stop, but one poll I saw earlier in the week had Highland Park 34-point favorites in this football game.
Well, if you're looking at anything tonight, you're definitely seeing a vulnerable secondary. There have been a lot of open receivers deep. You're going to see a lot more, I would think, of deep passes by McKinney North. And at the same time, Chase Barrett has 10 carries, 59 yards. That's going to play a factor.
5th play of the drive. This drive started at the 38-yard line. Now they're down to the 33. Herbal throws the home run ball in and out of the hands, just overthrown for Ayton Williams, who had to dive for it, and it went out of his fingertips at the 2-yard line. Jarrett Sweet was in coverage, and Ayton Williams had him beat.
Yeah, what Ayton did there was ran a nice pattern. The thing that didn't go right, though, was for McKinney North. Eric Herbal was hit as he threw, and he was wrapped around as he was falling down, or rather as he was throwing his motion, he was being turned sideways, causing a little bit more force to go on the ball and just out of the reach of Aiden Williams.
Herbal is 3 out of 9 for 26 yards on the night. But
90
yards. Yeah, that's right. He had the big touchdown to Aiden Williams. Timeout has been called. 5:05 left to go in the second quarter. 17-10, Highland Park in the lead. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. McKinney North is reeling in this punt, and they're going to kick it out to the out-of-bounds marker. Brandon Dunn tries to kick the pooch kick right towards the out-of-bounds marker. He does inside the 10-yard line, down in between the 7 and the 8, so I think that's good. 25-yard punt for Brandon Dunn, but more than that, it pins Highland Park way back deep in their own territory.
Yeah, I wish they would be a little bit more aggressive there. Granted, it's 4th and 8, but the ball was at the 33. That's about where they've had their starting field possession Highland Park has all day, and they've come away with 10 points on 3 drives out of it. I'd like to see a little bit more aggressive. However, the punt did go better than I thought it would and went down to the 8-yard line. So now you need the defense to pin the ears back.
While we have this timeout, it's not actually a timeout, but Highland Park's taking their timeout on the field coming back out. I want to say hello out to my grandpa who was at Wilson and Jones Hospital recovering from some scares that we had last night. I want to say hello. I hope you're doing well, and we all love you.
Get well soon.
First down and 10 for Highland Park, deep in their own territory at the 8-yard line. First down and 10. A true running shoot formation for Highland Park, and Stafford's going to drop back. Wants to throw across the middle, and the ball is batted away. A nice play by Cole Permetter. The cornerback comes up and knocks the ball away.
Yeah, you look at Matthew Stafford, subpar so far. He's only 6 of 11 passing, does have 104 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. But he's definitely not what we've seen in the past, and you got to give a lot of credit to the secondary. Now, you just really would like the defensive line to get more pressure on Stafford and make him feel uncomfortable in the pocket at that.
Highland Park has been, they've been unwilling to run the football. They've thrown it just about every down, and they really, in order to get out of this rut deep in their own territory, you'd think they have to run the football here, but they really don't want to. Stafford drops back, wants to throw again, looks over left side this time, has a man in great coverage, but Stafford overshoots his wide receiver out there, and he was trying to hit his favorite receiver, Hudnall, but great coverage once again by McKinney North.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Highland Park, what they do best is passing, but they can run the ball. Last week against Texarkana, Texas High, they had a 12-play, 92-yard drive late in the game to take time off the clock and score the go-ahead touchdown. Of those 12 plays, 11 were runs. That was what Coach Allen called a championship drive right there. And they have the ability to run. Now, they do better passing, and if they're more comfortable passing, you got to stick with that as a coach.
The number 1 ranked quarterback in the nation is 0 for his last 3 passing attempts. Third down and 10. 4:45 left to go. He's trying to throw the swing pass and does, and it's going to be caught by Alex Carroll. No, that's going to be Jake Felt out of the backfield, and he scrambles his way up to the 15-yard line, short of the first down. Justin Jano comes up along with Martin Holmes to make the stop, and that will bring up 4th down and 3. And what do? You've got to punt here,
there's no
you
way
would
you
think.
Don't. There's no way you don't.
Well, Highland Park thinks that they can go for it just about anywhere, but they are going to punt here.
Let them. I'm going to put my defensive secondary I feel comfortable in against Matthew Stafford's passing.
Will Bonanno will go back to punt. He has a 38.6 average. He's only punted 18 times all year, and that tells you something about the Highland Park offense. Stands at his own 3-yard line on 4th down and 3. Back deep is Cameron Eubanks. The snap is back, and Bonanno's kick is almost blocked, but Eubanks is going to catch it at its own 49-yard line. Tries to make a move to the outside, and it's going to be down at the 38-yard line. So McKinney North in great position here to score before the half. 3:47 left to go before the halftime. It's 17-10, Highland Park on top. A 36-yard punt and a 9-yard return for Cameron Eubanks. And you got to think Coach Pratt's thinking about putting it in right here. Let's talk to Teddy Sappho and see if he's had some insight on what's going on down there inside those huddles.
Coach, you're right, Monty. That's definitely what the offense wants to do. Coach Pratt even said before the game that he wants to take shots down the field, and this offense has been really aggressive tonight. Obviously, you can tell by the score, but only down by a touchdown. If they can get one in, it's going to be really interesting. Back to you guys.
Ball at the 38-yard line in Highland Park territory. 1st and 10, 3:47 left to go before the half. Herbal in shotgun formation. Sends Max Butler in motion coming left to right. Handoff Barrett. Has a hole up to right tackle. Crosses the 35 down to the 33-yard line. For a moment, Barrett kind of faked me out. I thought he was going to run right over the center, but he turned back around and ran to the right guard before he was taken down by the two inside linebackers, David Foose and Patrick Hunt. Those guys have played a well of a game so far. Clock's ticking at 3:24 left to go in the second quarter.
Again, great push by this Bulldog offensive line. Chase Barrett was 3 yards downfield before he caught up with his 3 yards past the line of scrimmage before he caught up with his line mates.
2nd down and 4. Herbal wants the call from the offensive coordinator, David Drake, and now he gets it. Shotgun formation. Barrett moves to the left side of him, gets the handoff, running right up the middle, crosses the 30 down and barrels his way down to the 27-yard line. That's going to be very close to a first down, Teddy. You're on the spot. Tell us, are they going to move the sticks?
Referees are moving the sticks, and it is a first down, McKinney North Bulldogs.
17-10, Highland Park in the lead. 2:58 left to go before the half.
Again, another job by Chase Barrett of getting to the line of scrimmage and still having space between him and the line. And then once he does, he's able to lower his shoulder. For such a small guy, he can lay a pounding and force some of those tacklers backwards and gain extra yards in the process.
Barrett 13 carries and has 70 yards so far in this first half. 2 receivers to the right side. 1 man goes in motion. That's going to be Butler. He's going to hand off Barrett once again. He's met at the line of scrimmage but breaks away and gains a couple of yards. Crosses the 25 to the 23-yard line, and J.K. Giraj. Oh, I love this name.
Urege.
J.K. Urege.
Love that name.
The nose guard for Highland Park, and I tell you what, that's got to be one of the greatest names in high school sports right now.
That just sounds like a guy you want to hang out with. Any guy who has the last name Urege, that just sounds like a fun name.
He's somebody
a fun guy.
you want to be friends with. 2 timeouts left for both teams with 2 minutes on the clock and rolling. Now we're under 2 minutes. It is going to be 2nd down and 6. Moving right to left is McKinney North. Shotgun formation. Handoff Barrett up the middle. Men at the line of scrimmage going nowhere except down. And it'll be 3rd down and 6. On the stop for Highland Park is Thomas Hill. 1:40 left to go before the half. And you think McKinney North really needs to push it in right here to tie this ball game.
Well, I think right now what they really need to do more than anything is just get points, because if they don't convert a first down here, you're going to give the ball back to Highland Park with, you leave 30 seconds on the clock. That's enough for this offense.
2 receivers to the near side is David Douglas and Max Butler. And Cameron Buford split out wide right. Barrett stands to the right of Herbal, who is in shotgun as always. And he's going to get the snap. Looks left side. Wants to throw. Has David Douglas, and he undershoots him. Throws it behind him. It'll be incomplete and 4th down.
Nothing he could do about that. He was hit as he threw. A blitz coming from what was initially his blind side, and then he turns around and see big number 59 in his face. That's David Foose, who pancakes him to the ground. But he was able to get the pass off, and unfortunately it was a hair behind Douglas, and that'll bring up 4th down. That makes McKinney North 2 of 6 on 3rd downs tonight, and that's not something that they've been excelled at throughout the year.
Boblitz will be on for this 40-yard field goal attempt. His longest for the year is 41. 1:05 left to go in the second quarter. Boblitz's kick is up. It is no good. He was hit as he kicked the ball. There's no flag.
You've got to be kidding me.
He kicked the ball and then went down. There's no flag.
How in the world? I mean, seriously, that's something you can't miss. That's unexcusable.
The ball will go over to Highland Park, and they say now that the ball was tipped.
Oh, okay. All right, that's excusable. I'm sorry. Take it all back.
So Highland Park will take over at their own 22-yard line. Boy, you would have loved to have seen points on the board there from McKinney North. 59 seconds left to go before the half. Highland Park on top 17-10. You really need to hold them here. Don't let them score a cheap touchdown right before the half.
Well, they did last week against their opponent.
Stafford throws it out left side, caught by his receiver Hudnall and met immediately by Brandon Dunn, who makes the stop, but not after a 5-yard gain. He's going to take the ball out to the 27-yard line.
And that's the first pass Hudnall's caught this year, and he's one of the favorite receivers. He has 13 touchdowns, most receiving touchdowns for this team.
Nickel defense for McKinney North. Stafford drops back, throws it across the middle, and great separation by his receiver, but it falls incomplete. He was trying to hit his receiver out there, John Dickinson, the twin brother of Charlie Dickinson, who has torn up McKinney North tonight.
Well, how's that? You have a speedster, and he has a twin who's a speedster.
Yeah,
that's
man, pretty dangerous. Highland Park 0 for their last 2 on third downs. 30 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Shotgun. Stafford gets it, drops back 2 steps, looks over to the left side and is caught and met by Bo Burns immediately, but a big gain there, enough for a first down. And the big thing is I believe he got out of bounds. 24 seconds on the clock, and they're going to say he was juggling it, but he did make the catch. The ball will go out to the 42-yard line. Just 8 yards shy of midfield. 24 seconds on the clock before the half. Shotgun, 2 receivers to the left, 3 to the right. Stafford rolls out right. Now he's under pressure. Kenny Alexander's chasing him from behind, and he just tosses the ball. What a play by Stafford. It's going to be a first down and out of bounds for Highland Park. Stafford made a tremendous play. He was flushed out of the pocket by Kenny Alexander, and he just did the old shovel pass. It's a 15-yard completion. It is a completion.
And going to get a personal foul, late hit out of bounds.
That was, it looked like a point guard just shoveling it over to one of his fast break men, and I tell you what, that was about as good as you can get.
Yeah, you're seeing Stafford at his best right there. He has the ability to make plays, and that's one of the things that you can't do as a quarterback by practicing. That's just something that comes naturally.
14 seconds on the clock before the half. Stafford and Highland Park trying to punch it in here. 3 receivers to the right side, to the left. Stafford pumps it to the left, now throws it right, and nobody is over there. There is a flag down, and check this one. It was Cole Permeter in coverage, and I think they're going to get him for pass interference.
Now, they should get the offense because Permeter made a perfect play on the ball and again was in front of it going for the interception, and the receiver pushed off. And good, they're getting this one right.
So this one will come back. 7 seconds on the second quarter clock.
And that's going to hurt Highland Park. With 7 seconds, they're going to have to go deep. And right now, going deep's not been their forte because the secondary for McKinney North has been very good. And right now, Monty, you're looking at exactly why Matthew Stafford's only thrown 3 interceptions this year. That's because he has the ability to have his receivers commit pass interference when he's going to.
We're going to take a quick timeout. 17-10. Highland Park has the lead. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM.
No.
Oh, no. Unbelievable. No time on the clock here in the first half. Stafford was under pressure, rolled to the left, threw 43 yards into the end zone for a prayer. McKinney North was right there to make the interception. 3 defenders were right there. The ball came right to them. Instead of pushing the ball down, they tipped it up, and Highland Park comes down with the touchdown.
That's the big one.
23-10 with no time left on the clock. You've got to knock the ball down in that situation and not tip it up.
And that's more defeating than a straight-out catch because you had a chance to knock it down.
Here's the extra point. It's up and it's true. 24-10, Highland Park in the lead, and we're at half. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM.
Board, that's defeating because you had you had to know that was coming. It was the fact that they had a chance to stop it from scoring, made a mistake, and then they ended up scoring. Right now, the momentum, just because of that play, is on Highland Park's side. But if you're McKinney North, you have been playing really, really well with a couple of miscues. And if you can get rid of those, it might be a different story.
Both teams making their way back out on the field. We'll take a quick timeout and be back in a moment. 24-10, Highland Park in the lead. 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. McKinney North making their way back out onto the football field. You can imagine what a locker room that was right after the half. First of all, you have to be proud that they've been staying in this football game. They've really played well the first half, but I'm telling you what, a knockout blow right before the half like that can really turn a halftime speech and emotion for you.
Well, let's not call it a knockout blow yet. There's still a chance for them to get back up off the mat and throw a few punches of their own, to borrow some boxing cliches from the guy who actually coaches here, Bill Parcells. But here's what you have to do. You've got to put that behind you as soon as possible. If you're any type of football player, Monty, if you're going into the halftime, you're not looking down on yourself. You're mad at what happened. I mean, if I was a player and any type of competitor, if they're a player, they're going in holding back, not throwing chairs because they're mad at what happened at the end of the half. If you can find that type of emotion and use it on the field, you're going to look a lot better in the long run.
The bad news for McKinney North is they have to kick off to Highland Park, and you've got to stop them here on this drive. If Highland Park is able to score here a touchdown, it would be 31-10. Right now, 24-10 as they come back out on the field and get ready for this Beef O'Brady's kickoff for the second half.
And I'm not saying that if they score right now, they're not going to be able to score anymore to get to 31. I'm just saying for the psyche, it's important to keep them off the scoreboard.
They fake the quail onside one more time. Blake Boblitz will now drop back. The ball is teed up at the 40-yard line. Boblitz will stand at his own 31. 9 yards deep now, runs to the ball. The Beef O'Brady's kickoff is in the air. It's going to bounce at the 13-yard line, and that's where Dickinson's going to pick it up, and he's nailed right at the 23-yard line.
Nice job. Colton Floyd there was in a block, got off the block, peeled himself away, and basically jumped on top of the returner there. And that's the type of emotion that they're going to need. Some guys on the defense are going to have to separate from the blocks. Floyd did it there, and now it's up to the rest of the 11-man defense to do that, especially that defensive line. They need to get pressure on Matthew Stafford, just like they did at the end of the half. But once you get pressure, you need to stop them.
Justin Janow and Colt 45 come up and make the stop on there on the kick return. 11:55 left to go in this third quarter. First down and 10 for Highland Park. They run the end around reverse, toss it inside. Big hole, cuts it to the 30 and down at the 34-yard line. Close to the first down is the wide receiver on the play, John Dickinson. He's taken down by Ryan Selby-Carney, but that's going to be close to a first down, about a 9-yard run.
Yeah, those plays always look like they get more yards than they do because there's a lot of running in the backfield. It starts off east-west, and then you've got 4 to 5 yards to go just to get back to the line of scrimmage. So that looked like a bigger play. Instead, it was only 9 yards. So the defense has to keep that in mind and not let it come back and haunt them.
3 receivers out wide left. 1 to the near side. Moving left to right on the radio dial is Highland Park. They're at their own 34-yard line. Stafford drops back, throws it, a great pass and catch, and he makes the catch at the 43-yard line. And on the reception for Highland Park is Ross Bolin. He came into the game with 7 catches, 219 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He makes a good one there as he gets out of bounds. Or actually, he doesn't get out of bounds. McKinney North only rushing 3 men on that play. Trying to drop back into coverage. Coach Pratt said sometimes you have to rush them, sometimes you have to drop back. They dropped back that time. Ball's at the 43-yard line after another 9-yard gain. First down and 10. 10:45 left to go in the third quarter. Highland Park on top, 24-10. This is going to be a fake the hand and throw it out in the flats. He's got his receiver, John Dickinson, who makes the catch and crosses the 45-yard line down to the 46. A couple of yards on the play. Brandon Dunn makes the stop.
Yeah, good open field tackle by Dunn. If he doesn't make that, it's at least a first down, probably a lot more than that. If he doesn't make that open field tackle, things are worse. That's why open field tackling is such a lost art, because it's not easy. He got his feet separated, planted, and went where the receiver went and didn't bite on the fake. Look at the belt. He did there, made the tackle after only 3 yards. Could have been a lot worse.
3-yard gain, second down and 7. 10:06 left to go in the third quarter. Highland Park 24, McKinney North 10. Moving left to right. Stafford wants it, gets it, rolls out. Now he throws the swing pass back inside the shovel pass. And it's Dickinson once again, has great speed, crosses the first down marker into McKinney North territory at the 36-yard line is where they'll mark him. I tell you what, they have 2 kids that are speedsters, and they're both twins named Dickinson. An 18-yard gain there.
Yeah, simple shovel pass blocked well by the left side of that offensive line for Highland Park. They were able to get the lane there open for Dickinson, and if you put Dickinson speed in open field, he's going to get a lot of yards.
Shotgun formation for Matthew Stafford. Stands about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Drops back, throws it out in the flats for his receiver who makes the catch, trying to find that near corner and gets out of bounds. Alex Carroll made the catch about 5 yards away from Stafford and ran straight towards that out-of-bounds marker, and he's going to be close to the first down once again, and I believe they're going to have it there. Well, we'll check and see. It's right at the marker. Teddy, I don't know if he's able to see it down there or not.
No, he's getting a lot of blockage there by the line, and they're not moving. It looks like they're going to give him.
Well, they're going to measure. They're going to bring out the sticks.
Right now, after that Carroll pass, Monty, 6 players for Highland Park have made a reception. Matthew Stafford is distributing the ball well. The thing that's funny, all district selection, Holt Martin, who is one of the leaders in receptions, second on the team, in fact, hasn't yet to catch a pass.
It's a first down for Highland Park. The ball is at the 26-yard line in McKinney North territory, and this, if they're able to score here, could be the knockout punch. And you hate to say that early on in the second half, but I'm telling you what, Highland Park has been able to score it and will, past the first quarter. McKinney North played great defense in that first quarter, but Highland Park has been able to methodically walk down the field. This is going to be first down and 10, 9:32 and rolling in the third quarter. Stafford wants to pass, flushed out of the pocket, rolling to the left side. He's in trouble, and he's sacked in the backfield, a big loss. On the play, Zach Plummer and Micah Moore. A 10-yard loss for Highland Park sends them all the way back to the 36-yard line.
Only going to get a half sack each, but together combined get the first sack for this North defense. That's something they're going to have to do a lot more of because Matthew Stafford's getting too comfortable here in this early drive. That's a good start. They just need more pressure. And also notice on that left side, right there, the left tackle and the left guard for the Scots, Reed Prince and James Mears, have a lot of space in between them, and it's not that way on the other side.
This is going to be Stafford who fakes that shovel pass now. This time throws it down the field. Almost a great play by the cornerback, and it's caught by Dickinson. Charlie Dickinson scores. A 36-yard touchdown from Matthew Stafford to Dickinson. And on the coverage, I believe was Cole Permetter, who trying to go for the ball, thought he was going to make a great play and apparently just misjudged his jump. Dickinson came down with the ball, turned around, and scored.
And they also got pressure, knocked Stafford down to the ground. They did everything they could there except either A, knock the ball away or tackle the receiver. And Dickinson's just able to prance down that right sideline into the end zone.
The extra point is up, and it is true by Will Bonanno. 31-10 now. Highland Park in the lead. 8:36 left to go in the third quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Teddy Saffo. Highland Park just scored on a 7-play, 75-yard drive. Took 3 minutes and 24 seconds off the clock. 31-10 our new score. Highland Park has the advantage. This is going to be a kickoff by Bonanno. Bonanno is going to be taken by an up man at the 18-yard line. Looks for a hole up the middle and down right there at about the 24. And on the return was Chase Barrett, who came up with the ball.
Yeah,
9-yard return.
If there's any up man you want taking the ball, it's going to be Chase Barrett. He's one of the better ball carriers on this team. He's not the most explosive, but he's smart. He hangs on to the ball and he finds holes, and that's what you want out of an up man, and Chase Barrett did it there. They were going for the strip with Highland Park, but Barrett held on to the ball really well.
8:30 left to go here in the third quarter. 31-10. Highland Park in the lead. And now, if you're McKinney North, you've got to score fast.
Yeah, there's no question.
And you've got to score often. As they will send Aiden Williams out wide right. Coming to the near side is David Douglas. Chase Barrett stands to the right side of Eric Herbal, moving right to left. Olson, the tight end, goes in motion. Now shifts back. And they're going to hand off Chase Barrett. This is the end of the round of verse. And Douglas gets it. He wants to throw down deep. Has Aiden Williams, and it's knocked away. A flag down, however.
Highland Park pass interference. Aiden Williams had position on it. He cut him up underneath, didn't look back at the ball. There's your key. You don't look back on the ball, you're going to get the flag when you make contact.
Jarrett Sweet, the man in coverage on Ayton Williams, and I guess he got a little too friendly with Ayton Williams over there. They'll mark that one against Sweet. As Randy Allen, the head coach, probably thinks that's a little sour.
Well, God, that's bad.
Sorry about that.
I had a good point, too, and I lost it.
15-yard penalty against Highland Park.
But, you know, I like that call, but right now there's some things that aren't working well for him. Traditional passing, Eric Herbal was only 3 for 12. However, they go to something new. There's still good coverage there, but a great pass by Douglas would have caught Ayton Williams in the hand had he not been pushed.
Little razzle-dazzle on first down for McKinney North. They come out on the wide receiver pass downfield. Man in motion. That's Eubanks. They're going to hand off Barrett this time up the middle. Bumbling his way down and breaks away for a second. Now he's going to be marked down at the 45-yard line. I thought for a second he had a big running lane, but 5-yard Barrett gets just that. And up on this tackle is John Calloway along with the other cornerback over there, or the safety, James Walter.
Well, 5-yard Barrett living up to his moniker this game with those 5-yard average. However, there's one thing he hasn't done that's a characteristic of a complete Chase Barrett game, and that's break a long one. Boy, McKinney North sure could use it here.
Daniel Holt did a great job. The right guard, 6'5", 300-pound guard, moved his man right out of the way for Barrett to run right by. Man in motion once again, and this time they're going to drop back. Herbal wants to throw it across the middle, and nowhere.
He slipped.
Apparently,
it was
the wide receiver slipped.
Yeah, Max Blue in coverage there was running about a 15-yard post. Or was it Blue? Let me double check here. Yeah, Max Butler, I'm sorry, was running a 15-yard post, and on his cut slipped to the turf. And it was a pure turf. I was watching him the whole way. He had a step on his man, too, which is what's a shame about that play.
7:37 on the third quarter clock, 31-10, Highland Park in the lead. McKinney North fans on their feet, 3rd down and 4. Ayton Williams split out wide right. Herbal shotgun, sends Eubanks in motion. Herbal wants to throw it near side, caught by Boblitz, and he's fighting his way towards the first down marker. He's not going to get it, just short at the 46-yard line. Actually, it's going to be about 3 or 4 yards short. He needed to get to midfield, and they're going to mark him at the 47-yard line. Coming up to make the stop for Highland Park is Wade Prosper.
Technically, actually, I believe that was Holden Martin in coverage, number 8 there, who made the tackle. And the thing that he did so well on that play, Monty, was Blake had a beat on him. He was ahead of him, but he wraps around, and instead of falling forward, lifts him up off his feet and tackles him backwards, preventing any big gain.
Going back deep for Highland Park will be the twin brothers, Charlie Dickinson and John Dickinson, to return the punt. Brandon Dunn gets it away. It bounces at the 25 and goes straight out of bounds. Good news for McKinney North because those kids can really run it back. Dickinson twins. So after a 24-yard punt, Highland Park will take over at their own 24-yard line.
Well, here's where you got to dig in deep as a defense. Any more points right now with this Highland Park squad? They showed last week they can run out the clock with a 12-play drive that 11 of which were runs. So you got to get a good 3 and out here. But you don't have to. It's recommended.
2 men in the slot standing right beside Stafford. He's going to hand off right up the middle, and this is a big hole, 30, 35, 40, and first down time for Alex Carroll as he has a lot of room to run right over left tackle. Reed Prince is all-district left tackle, along with James Myers as all-district left guard. Both of them well over 230 pounds, and you can tell right there why they've been able to run the football when they want to. They've been able to run it.
Yeah, 16-yard gain there on 1st and 10 when they're trying to run out the clock, and now they're going to let the play clock sit a while. They haven't even started it yet.
Got a great block out there by his wide receiver, Hudnall. Bill Parcells will be happy about that one. Here's a handoff up the middle, and that's Jake Felt who's into the football game and gains a couple of yards, or maybe one, out to the 42-yard line. 6:13 left to go in the third quarter.
Nice job by Kirsten Williams, the nose tackle. Basically threw off the block of right guard Alex Cole and basically was waiting for Felt to come to him. Felt tried to make a cut, but when Kirsten Williams gets a hole plugged, you know, there's not going to be very many other holes somewhere else. And That play, while he didn't make the full tackle, he's going to get credit for an assist, but he really did make that play.
Coming over to the near side is Ross Bolin. Hudnall, far left side. Stafford, shotgun formation, has both backs standing either side. And he's going to fake the hand and wants to throw it down the field. Throws it across the middle, and it's caught. This time the Dickinson young man, John Dickinson, makes the catch all the way down to the 25, and they're going to mark him at the 24-yard line. And I'm telling you what, these two twins, John Dickinson and Charlie Dickinson, have been a thorn in McKinney North side all night long. A 36-yard pass and catch from Stafford to Dickinson, and Bo Burns makes the stop.
That puts Stafford at 269 passing yards on 15 of 22 passing. There for a while, he was shooting around 500 at 6 for 12, but since then he's completed every pass.
Boy, he can throw a bullet too. Threw it right over the middle, looked like Brett Favre. Handoff, this time it's going to go to one of the wide receivers, Jake Felt.
And a face mask. Dang it.
Well, that is not Jake Felt into the game. It's going to be a new running back, William Webb, who got the call. And a face mask against McKinney North will back him up, or actually bring Highland Park up a little bit more towards that end zone. They're already in McKinney North territory. Ryan Selby Carney is going to be guilty of the face mask call. 5:03 left to go in the third quarter. Highland Park on top, 31-10.
Now the good thing is it's only the 5-yard variety. Now add that to the fact they caught him in the backfield, although they're moving it as a full 5-yard from the line of scrimmage. So I guess they're just going to negate the run altogether.
First down and 5 for Highland Park inside the 20 now at the 19-yard line. Stafford in shotgun formation as always, going to hand off. Webb once again, big hole, 5, touchdown Highland Park. 4:44 left to go, and Webb scores from 19 yards out. 37-10 awaiting the PAT.
That's the one that hurts. The worst thing about that, Monty, no one touched him. And that was just a huge hole. I don't know what the secondary was doing, but there wasn't a safety over there, just a clean romp of green and blue ahead of him. An easy 19-yard touchdown. You're not going to see a much easier one at any level.
He got a huge block from his left tackle, James Myers, and he had no one touch him on his way en route to 19 yards. And here's the extra point by Bonanno, and it's good. 38-10 our score at Texas Stadium. Highland Park over McKinney North. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms, and we want to say hello to Ed Meacham, who's been up here all night long spotting for us. Scott Garner also in the booth, kind of helping out, watching a good football game.
Yeah, I enjoy this. Normally when I work with Scott, I'm behind the scenes and he's on mic, and this time it's reversed. So I'm enjoying this role-playing game we're doing here.
4:44 left to go before the fourth quarter. And this is the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. It's going to be taken by Cameron Eubanks up the middle, 25-30, trying to break away but can't do it. Is down at the 32-yard line and is caught by William Bonanno, the kicker, a 20-yard return.
Yeah, and that's something that this Highland Park team excels at, both special teams and defense, is the ability to shake the block. Eubanks had the hole there, and it started to explode, but as he did, Bonanno escaped from the blocker there, wrapped around Eubanks, and dropped him when it could have been a big kickoff. Now, granted, he got beyond the 30, so it's the best field position this half.
28-point advantage for Highland Park with 4:38 left to go in the third quarter. Stranger things have happened, but McKinney North's going to have to jump on it right now. Shotgun formation for Herbal, man in motion, and that's Eubanks, and they're going to hand off Barrett, who cuts it inside, and he is met immediately and goes nowhere. He's met by Patrick Hunt first, and then met by a couple others, including Wade Prosper.
Yeah, there was nothing Chase could do there. They called the perfect play pattern. Did Highland Park blitz up the middle. And generally when you blitz up the middle, that's what they call a run blitz. You're only doing it to try to stop the run. You're not trying to get a sack. And they had a feeling McKinney North was going to run, and they did. Chase Barrett just had too much blue in front of him.
Second down and 10, 4:06 left to go in the third quarter. 38-10 Highland Park, man in motion. They're going to hand off Barrett. No, he drops back, wants to throw it to the left side. Some pushing and shoving, and David Douglas makes the catch at the 44-yard line and up for a first down. Move the chains for McKinney North.
That's their first down this half.
A 13-yard pass and catch. Josh Meredith and Wade Prospera come up and make the tackle. The ball will move out to the 45-yard line, moving right to left as McKinney North. That's the best play fake of the night by Herbal as he faked the hand to, I believe it was Buford who came across in motion.
Yeah, that's something we haven't talked about a lot this year, but Herbal does sell the fakes very well.
This is going to be a handoff. Barrett up the middle and met by the nose guard and goes down after a gain of about 1. And on the stop is Carter Dunlap for Highland Park. The first time we've really called Dunlap's name tonight. He has 46 tackles on the year, has half a sack, 1 fumble recovery, 3 tackles for a loss, and this will come out to the 47-yard line, call it. Second down and 8. Just about to the 3-minute mark, 3:04 and rolling. Second down and about 8. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers right side. Herbal looking over there, wants to throw it in the flats. It's not in the flats, actually. It's on the streak route, and it's just underthrown to Cameron Buford, who comes up a little bit injured. He's holding his chest a little bit. All right. 2:56. .256 left to go in the third quarter. 38-10.
And on that play, you saw what's one of the best things that is in this offense is the ability of Chase Barrett to pick up a blitz. He cut out the blitzer who could have sacked Eric Herbal. Now, granted, it was an incomplete pass, but it could have been a sack if it wasn't for the work of Chase Barrett.
2:48 and rolling here in the third quarter. Third down and 8. Big play here. 2 receivers to the right side. Everybody coming up tight. Going to put the pressure on Herbal. Everybody comes up. Herbal throws it down the field, trying to find Cameron Buford, and it's overthrown, way overthrown, and it's not Buford, it's Aiden Williams.
We're going to get a pass interference or defensive holding call, even though it looked like Williams wasn't watching where the ball was. He had no idea it was thrown. Herbal had to throw it early, but Williams was looking back at the ball while the ball was above his head.
Jarrett Sweet was the man in coverage, and they're going to say that ball was well overthrown.
Well, if it's a holding call, then it doesn't matter if it's overthrown or not. You can't hold on defense, so it's going to be interesting to see the call. And now they are going to rule that they were going to call pass interference, but now they're going to call it uncatchable. I think Coach Pratt's got a legitimate reason down there. He's griping, and it's about, well, he should, because in one way or another, there was holding or pass interference. It's one or the other. It's going to be a penalty no matter what. If it's uncatchable, then it goes to the default holding. I think the referee's dropped another one on that one.
Well, here's going to be 4th down and 8. Brandon Dunn will go back to punt. Look out for the kids back there receiving it. Charlie and John Dickinson. The Brandon Dunn gets the punt off. It's going to bounce at about the 22-yard line and go out of bounds. So no chance for a big return there. 36-yard punt for Brandon Dunn. 2:23 left to go in the third quarter. Highland Park on top, 38-10.
All right, defense, got to step it up now. It's going to be a long mountain to climb as it is. But you got to do something here. Turnover for a touchdown would be great. Turnover in and of its own would be good. But bottom line, you have to stop this offense, and you have to do it quickly. With only 2:23 left to go until the end of the third quarter, this is do or die time.
McKinney North showing blitz and now back off. Stafford in shotgun as always. Going to hand on. He's going to fake the hand, throw it out in the flats, and it's caught by his man out of the backfield. 35. 40, look out to the 50, 45 stayed in bounds, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Jake Felt scores. My goodness, 82 yards on the touchdown, and this one's beginning to look like a rout. Flag down on the play, however, at the 47-yard line, and we'll check that. For a moment, however, it was an 82-yard touchdown. There's a golden hanky laying at the 47-yard line.
And it's against McKinney North. The way everybody's backing up, the referee pointed that way. The kicking team's still coming out on the field. Personal foul, oh my gosh, against McKinney North.
My, oh my.
And the thing is that's going to come on the kickoff.
Jake Felt, an 82-yard touchdown run, makes our new score 44-10 with 2:09 left to go in the third quarter. You know, a lot of people said that it was a 34-point spread in this game. 34 points is what Highland Park was picked. Well, that's what we have right now. Right before this PAT, it's about to be 35.
Stafford has 349 passing yards tonight.
Will Bonanno will come on for the extra point, and it is right down the middle and good. 45-10, our new score. 2:09 left to go in the third quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms as we prepare for the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. 2:09 left to go in the third quarter. Highland Park on top 45-10 because of an 82-yard touchdown run by Jake Felt. And McKinney North is feeling the hurt right now.
Well, that's a play that they've been bitten on already. It's just they fake it to the back in the backfield, and then he runs a simple 2-yard flare down the sidelines, but nobody's covered him, so that 2 yards quickly turns into 10, 20, in this case 82. And now, I mean, you know.
Because of the personal foul, the penalty was assessed on the kickoff, so Highland Park kicked off from the 40-yard line in McKinney North territory, and it goes out of bounds.
Is that the first Beef O'Brady's kickoff for a touchdown in this game?
For a touchback?
Back, yeah. Back.
Well, it's not going to take very long to get the
No.
scoring drive recap. One play, 82 yards, and it took about 10 seconds off the clock.
However long it takes him to run 82 yards.
Well, it took exactly 13 seconds off the clock. How about that?
Not 13 and a half?
13, we'll call it. The ball is going to be at the 20-yard line. McKinney North will have it at in their own territory at their own 20, moving right to left. 2:09 left to go in the third quarter. Twins to the near side, twins to either side. First time we've seen this. Herbal drops back, wants to throw it across the middle, and it's picked off at the 38-yard line. The defender takes it to the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, trying to get in the end zone, and he can't do it. He's knocked end over end and out of bounds by Aiden Williams. John Callahan comes up with the interception and runs it back 35 yards, and Highland Park is a couple of yards away from adding another touchdown here.
What a third quarter it's been for the Scots.
Not fun for McKinney North fans now. A lot of them still standing, obviously, but
3 touchdowns in this half for the Scots, and they have it first and goal at the 2.
Alex Carroll and Jake Felt still into the football game, standing or straddling Matthew Stafford in shotgun, and Felt's going to get the handoff, barreling his way down to the goal line, and I don't believe he got in.
Nope.
They're going to mark him down at the 1-yard line, so it'll be second down and goal for Jake Felt, Matthew Stafford and company.
And it's good to see the North band getting into it. Good beat they've got going there. Plus, I like the action I'm seeing from the band. I love it when you get a pep band that's active as they are, just moving in all directions. It's a cool sight to see. Now, hopefully they can translate some of that injury to the Bulldogs on the field.
2 receivers to the right side. Handoff, Felt diving over the top and into the end zone. Touchdown, Highland Park. 1:27 left to go in the third quarter. 51-10, our new score, awaiting the PAT after Jake Felt runs it in from 1 yard out, or jumps over for 1 yard out.
Yeah, didn't we just do this?
I think so.
By the way, the Highland Park Scots not known for the rushing game. That's the 3rd touchdown on the ground.
The PAT would make it 52-10. 1:27 left to go in the third quarter. The extra point by Thomas is up, and it's good as always. Clayton Thomas nails it through. 52-10 our score. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. 52-10. Highland Park in the lead over McKinney North. 1:27 left to go in the third quarter. It was a two-play, 2-yard drive. It took 23 seconds off the clock after the Aaron Herbal interception. And this Beef O'Brady's kickoff by Highland Park is going to be taken by Cameron Buford at the 5-yard line. He cuts it up the middle. It's Aiden Williams, rather. Spins out of a tackle. Cuts it up inside now, trying to find some more room. And he does get out to the 17-yard line. A 12-yard return for Aiden Williams. And that'll set up shop right at the, well, they call it the 17-yard line is where they'll mark him down.
It was a good job by Atten of avoiding a few Highland Park defenders. Problem with that was there was a lot of east-west running, and on top of that, a lot of stutter steps trying to shake the defender. I've often said this season, you stutter step, you give the pursuit time to get there, and that's what happened. He made a lot of good moves, but you just can't make too many moves before there's a lot of blue shirts surrounding you.
What can you say about McKinney North? They came out and played tremendous in the first half. Highland Park's just been too much for him here. Handoff, Chase Barrett up the middle, and he gets out to the 23-yard line. Teddy Sappho down on the sideline is pretty close to Sean Pratt and been able to keep an ear towards him. And what has he been telling his team so far on the sideline?
Well, first off, I mean, he was not happy the way the team came out because he felt that they had let down a little bit. And he told them, look, you guys need to play all the way to the whistle. Do not let up. Do not give up. Give it your all on every single play. Back to you guys.
Prior to that last run, Monty, by Chase Barrett, he only had 3 carries in this half for only 7 yards. They need to get him more involved.
Eubanks will go in motion. They're going to hand off Barrett, and he is met at the line of scrimmage and popped and going nowhere. The ball pops free, but he was down. Recovering, coming up with the ball was John Callahan, but he comes up after the play was already whistled dead. Ben Cardell makes the stop at the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down and about 4 with 16 seconds left to go in the third quarter. That was probably the last play.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like McKinney North's in any hurry to get to the line, and now some of them are even starting to make their way to the sideline. So not a pretty third quarter there. They gave up 24 points and didn't put a single one up on the board.
Well, that's the end of the third quarter. It's fourth quarter time at Texas Stadium. 52-10, Highland Park in the lead over McKinney North. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. Herbal throws it over to the left hash.
There we go.
And there's a flag down. He was trying to hit Blake Boblets. On the stop was Patrick Grennan. He came up, and I think he made just a little bit too much contact on Blake Boblets there, and that should be a first down for McKinney North.
Can't touch him before the ball gets there. It's one of the few things about pass interference that's easy to interpret. You touch him before the ball, pass interference.
That'll move the ball out to the 38-yard line. A good way to get started here in the fourth quarter. Got a lot of ground to make up. 52-10 the score here. Highland Park in the lead. Now McKinney North moving left to right. Blake Boblett split out wide left. Aiden Williams to the near side. Cameron Eubanks in the slot to the right side of Herbal. Chase Barrett stands behind him, about a yard behind him and to the left. Now he moves to the right side. They're going to hand off to Barrett up the middle, fighting for more yardage, and he's going to go down right about the line of scrimmage. The ball is loose. Highland Park says they have the ball. No indication yet.
I think the refs are not even paying it any mind.
Highland Park indicating they have the ball, but the officials are saying no. Second down.
I mean, they didn't even make a signal. It's like they didn't even acknowledge the ball had gone on the field.
It was number 19, Ben Pascal, who came up and made the stop. And this will be the fourth play of the drive for McKinney North. Moving left to right. 11-10 left to go in this football game. McKinney North's going to have to make up 42 points. You got to start throwing the home run ball. And who do you throw it to? Aiden Williams?
I guess.
I think so. Chase Barrett up the middle. And he runs for a couple of yards, crosses the 43-yard line, so it'll be third down and relatively short. And Trevor Smith makes the stop for Highland Park. Some of those guys on their second unit are into the football game now.
Yeah, it'd be dumb right now with a quarter to go and your team up 42 points to have any starters in there. So that's a good call by Randy Allen for the Scots.
Sean Pratt, 36 years old, came into this game 17-23, and what has he done for this program? It's been enormous. Sean Pratt has, in 4 years, done just enormous things for this McKinney North program, and he sends a man in motion here. Handoff Barrett again, big hole up to the 50, crosses to the 49-yard line in Highland Park territory. John Callahan makes the stop.
Yeah, and that's the thing that you have to like about what the Scots do on defense. Callahan able to separate from his block again and get Barrett as he's hitting the hole on his way. If he doesn't make that, Barrett's got a longer gain than the 6 yards he had here. But because Callahan was able to get him just as he was running by him, it negates what could have been a big one.
Ball's going to be at the 49-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for McKinney North. And I'll tell you what, it's been a great season for McKinney North fans and for McKinney North players and
McKinney North broadcasters.
The entire city of McKinney, for that matter. Herbal is going to drop back, and he wants to throw it. And wide open is Chase Barrett, and he drops it at the 27-yard line. We talked about Chase Barrett, how he only had one catch on the year, 26 yards, and he just completely dropped that one.
Yeah, for all the things Chase does well, finding holes, exploding into them, running north-south, picking up blockers on the blitz. He has a weakness, and that's he's not a good receiver coming out of the backfield, and he showed it there, a nice wide open pass, but because he couldn't haul it in, it's a wasted opportunity.
McKinney North, coming off a 2-8 season last year, completely turned that around, going 8-2 in the regular season, or 7-3 rather. Handoff Barrett up the middle, 45 down to the 44-yard line, and give him the 43. It's been an incredible season, and I think Sean Pratt, after all is said and done with this game, he is going to be so happy and so proud at the fact that his team has come basically out of the cellar. Nobody gave him a shot to sniff the playoffs even, and they not only sniffed it, they marched their way through the District 9 4A, knocking people left and right. The only hiccups were to Hebron and Justin Northwest, and those were two good football teams.
Yep.
9:05 left to go in this game, 52-10. McKinney North trailing Highland Park. Shotgun formation on 3rd and 4. Herbal wants to throw it deep down the field. Ayton Williams is there, and guess what? He catches it, and it's touchdown time in Texas. Ayton Williams is a huge playmaker for this football team.
Unfortunately, not the same effect as the first time around when he hauled that long one. However, this one is a 43-yard score, and this does put some respectability back into the score, and it shows you this North team's not giving up.
Blake Boblitz will boot the PAT. Austin Atwell will be the holder. It's 52-16 momentarily.
Again, all he does is catch long touchdowns, Monty. That's all he does.
Is he Chris Carter? Is he all he does is catch touchdowns?
Well, no, long
all he
touchdowns.
does is catch long touchdowns. Boblitz, the kick is up, and it's good. 52-17. 8:53 left to go in the fourth quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. 8:53 left to go in this game, 52-17. It was an 8-play, 83-yard drive by McKinney North, one of their best of the year. 4 minutes and 28 seconds is what it took them to do it, and it was capped off by an Ayton Williams 43-yard touchdown reception from Eric Herbal, and Ayton Williams catches big touchdowns every week. Here's the Beef O'Brady's kickoff by Blake Boblitz. It's going to be a low one. Bounces at the 15-yard line. Going to be taken by an up man this time. Cuts it up to the near hash. Looking for some room. Cole Permetter chasing, but he's going to go down at the 39-yard line. A nice return there by Highland Park. There's a flag down on the return. 26 yards for Nick Coates.
Nice job by Perlmutter. He was there in position to make the tackle as it's a 5-yard face mask on North. He doesn't make the tackle because he pushed it back to the inside where there was a lot more white shirts. So he did his job of playing contain out there on the side. All you have to do is contain. Make sure it doesn't go outside of you. Perlmutter did just that.
Ball is going to be placed at the 44-yard line. Brandon, let's talk about this season a little bit.
It's been fun.
It's been a blast. And tell us one of your favorite moments about this season as far as play-wise for McKinney North. I think mine, coming up after this play, is Stafford's not in the game. They're going to hand off up the middle, some new players in for Highland Park. And I believe that's Hayden Pittman who gets the carry, and Ryan Selby-Carney makes the stop. That's not Pittman.
Yeah, it's 32. I got that.
I had 33, Ryan Dwyer, but maybe I was wrong.
No, I think you're right. You're right.
Yeah, Dwyer now checks out of the game. I'm going to think my favorite moment in this football season was probably the Crosstown Showdown where...
Don't say it. Kenny McGowan?
No.
That's my play.
Cameron Eubanks, on 4th down, Cameron Eubanks makes the catch.
Yeah, that was fun.
Here's a quarterback scramble up the middle. Plenty of running room for William Webb up the middle, and he's going to score. My goodness. William Webb has tremendous speed. He had 27 carries for 216 yards, an 8-yard average, and he scores right there from 50 yards out. You know why he averages 8 yards a pop? Because he is very quick.
Well, 2 carries, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns for Webb.
Wow. 7:53 left to go in this game. It's 58-17 right now.
Let's move the play clocks to full minutes, and let's run every play down to 1.
Clayton Thomas back for the PAT. It's looks like it's true, and it is 59-17 with 7:53 left to go in this game. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. 7:53 left to go in this game. Highland Park all over McKinney North, 59-17. But tell you what, it was the most fun first half, at least the first half minus the last second of the first half.
Now 7 seconds.
That we've done all year.
We can just scratch that play.
Yeah, you know, that can completely change a game, and I think that had a major factor in this one tonight.
Instead of playing 12 minutes, just only play 11, 56 and a half. Things are all good.
The Beef O'Brady's kickoff for Highland Park is about to be underway, as it's going to be William Bonanno kicking this one off, and whistles blow before
Not sure what happened.
Well, they blew it right before.
Yeah, you can't get a delay of game on a kickoff because there's no play clock, and there's not a lot of dead ball fouls that I can think of outside of like the ball falling off the tee, and you know that doesn't happen in Texas Stadium. So I don't know.
So what you said Kenny McGowan's return was your favorite?
Because that interception showed me right there that the defense was for real, and that's what you need. You need at least a semi-decent defense to make a playoff push. You can have a bad offense, but if you have a good defense, you know, witness our neighbors up to the north, Sherman. Not a lot of offense to speak of, had a defense that got them into the playoffs. That showed me right there their defense was good when Kenny McGowan against McKinney, and they turned the tide of what was the Crosstown Showdown. That's my favorite single play memory.
This is going to be the kick. Beef O'Brady's kickoff by Bonanno is going to be taken by an up man at the 12-yard line, and end over end he goes at the 21. And it was taken by Cameron Eubanks, and Eubanks got flipped up over at the 22, and they'll take over there.
Yeah, he did a cardinal sin. You shouldn't leave your feet in the field of play. The only time it's semi-excusable is down near the goal line. Once you leave your feet, stuff like that's going to happen.
7:44 left to go in the game, 59-17. The Highland Park Scots on top of this one.
Offsides on the Scots. I just heard the PA announcer say I didn't catch it, and that's normally that's something I catch. I missed it this time. So are we going to get a re-kick here? No, they're just going to mark it from the spot of the return.
Teddy Sappho talked about some people having some injuries down there. Talk about that a little bit, Teddy.
Well, first off, Cameron Buford, he had his pads taken off. I suspect he got popped in the shoulder. And Chase Barrett, you guys, this guy's a warrior. He's been playing hurt through this part of this fourth quarter. But send it back to me in a second. I'll give you the rest of it.
All right, Teddy. Shotgun formation for Eric Herbal. 3 receivers to the near side. Max Butler goes in motion. This is going to be a handoff to Cole Permetter, and he's going to go nowhere. Back to the 28-yard line. Coming up on the stops, Trevor Smith and John Callahan. Let's talk about some of these things. Actually, Teddy, go ahead and tell us about the injuries.
Right, and what happened with Chase Barrett, he took a shot, but this guy is a warrior. He's still out there playing. He just took the last special teams. He was out there playing. This guy is one special player.
He is one special player, and McKinney North fans got to be happy that he's coming back next year, along with Eric Herbal, the quarterback. And
he stole my thunder.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are going to be tremendous next year. They got a lot to work with, trying to find some other players. Herbal throws it down the middle. Aiden Williams caught it and dropped it. Oh, my goodness. That one would have been a tremendously long touchdown. As you know, he did that a couple of weeks ago. He caught 2 big home run balls, dropped the third one, and he did that here tonight.
Yeah, I really want to break 20. I really do.
7:01 left to go in this football game, 59-17.
I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm not a big Highland Park fan. I haven't been, and it's just something that's ingrained in me. It has nothing to do with this game.
I think that
just to break 20 against this team, I really want that.
A lot of teams, a lot of fans in McKinney thinking the same thing now, as that rivalry goes back a long time. McKinney Lions in Highland Park. This will be 3rd down and 10 for McKinney North. Herbal drops back 3 steps, looks over left side, under pressure and sacked at the 22-yard line. Coming up on the sack for Highland Park is going to be Stephen DeBeer. And that on the season will be his 2nd sack. 6:44 and rolling. 59-17. Highland Park in the lead here. McKinney North on 4th down and 15 is going to send Brandon Dunn back to punt. And please do not bring the Dickinson kids back out on the field, and I'm afraid that they are.
Go for it.
Charlie and John Dickinson will stand, the 2 twins will stand at their own 48-yard line.
It's mad football, this thing. Go for it on every 4th down.
6:10 left to go. Brandon Dunn, high snap, brings it down, punts it. Takes about 3 little steps. A high spiraling punt is going to be taken, fair caught at the 45-yard line by John Dickinson. And that's where Highland Park will take over. Let's talk about some of these seniors that are going to be graduating for McKinney North. Cameron Buford, 6'3", 190-pound wide receiver. Cameron Eubanks, who has been just a weapon all year in that slot receiver position. Also coming up big on defense last week against Dallas Hillcrest, playing that 3rd cornerback position. Kyle Tier, Justin Janow really stepped it up midway through the season. Bo Burns, what a game he played last week against Dallas Hillcrest. Shotgun formation for Highland Park. Big hole up the middle, and look out, 50, 45. Cuts it back inside, and that is, I thought once again that was going to be Dickinson, but it was not.
O'Dwyer.
Ryan O'Dwyer, and Blake Boblitz makes the tackle. Some of these seniors, Brent Mole, Paul Stanko, we didn't see a lot of. Cole Permetter, we did. He played a stellar cornerback a lot all season. James San Miguel, the leader on defense. If you ask any of the McKinney North Bulldogs who the leader was, and they all said James San Miguel. Max Butler, the slot receiver, will graduate, along with Blake Boblitz, the all-world kicker. Ruben Chavarria, Joseph Flores, Derek Corey. It's a high snap, going to be a handoff once again, coming near side. Look out, 35-30, and steps out of bounds. And out of bounds is Webb. And Webb is really fast.
They had him in the backfield too, and he was just able to find a seam by doing a little juke move. Another 1st down. Onto an 11-yard carry that puts him at 81 on 3 carries.
Zach Plummer is a kid that came up who had never played football before. Tried out for McKinney North this year, made it, and became a stud defensive end. Rick Essler also going to graduate. Shotgun formation for Highland Park. Bill Calley, we'll go over all of these seniors as they all deserve a lot of attention tonight. Handoff running right tackle for Highland Park is going to be Ryan Fanning, and he's going to gain about 3 or 4 yards. Zach Plummer coming up and making the stop there for McKinney North.
That's 7 carries. 7 different running backs that have a carry. And I shouldn't say running backs. 7 different players who have had a run of some kind.
Micah Moore, Jeremy Nelson, Randall Casey Clapp, as we know him. Ryan Burke. What can you say about Ryan Burke? Rated the 4th best center in the nation by ESPN. Here's a handoff once again, and that's going to be Fanning trying the right side, cuts it back inside, has the first down. 4:35 left to go in the game. Brett Davis makes the stop. Brett Davis is coming back next year, but Ayton Williams is not. And that
I'm going to miss him.
That's a guy who really came on the second half of the year, too. Ayton Williams came out of nowhere. Coach John Pratt said last year he couldn't even catch a cold, but he worked really hard during the summer on the jugs machine.
That's not a bad thing, though. If you can't catch a cold, hey, that's a good thing.
Especially this time of year. 4:22 and rolling. This one's about over. 59-17. Highland Park in the lead over McKinney North.
At least they're taking the play clock down. I do like that.
2 receivers to the left. This is going to be a high snap handoff up the middle. Spinning out of tackles is the running back Ryan O'Dwyer. And what a Scott name that is, O'Dwyer. As they have some of their lower classmen into the game right now. O'Dwyer, the junior, but this has been one of those seasons that McKinney North fans have dreamed about. Linda Therrett, the principal, probably the biggest fan for McKinney North. She was really ecstatic when they clinched the playoffs, really ecstatic tonight, obviously, as these McKinney North fans start to pile out of here. They were oranged out. Normally on Fridays, they oranged out on Thursday today. Flag down, handoff up the middle, breaking tackles is the big fullback, Ryan Fanning. But
I think we're going to get an illegal shift on the Scots, as it looked like there was a man who started motion. And there's 2 things you can't do to get an illegal shift. You can't have 2 people in motion at the same time, and you can't move toward the line of scrimmage in a motion, and I think that's what happened there. Instead, they're going to call a legal procedure. We'll go with that.
3:26 left to go in the game. 59-17. Highland Park in the lead here. Ball at the 20-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 13 for Highland Park.
Well, if we miss a Highland Park score, no big deal. Huh? Oh, yeah.
2:52 left to go in this game. 59-17. Back to pass, and has his man caught and dropped at the 19-yard line. Back to pass was quarterback John Ellerman. And Ellerman tried to find his man there, and it was incomplete. Bring up 4th down. 2:17 left to go in this game. 59-17, Highland Park in the lead over McKinney North.
Now, this is going to be an interesting decision here. If you're Randy Allen, do you elect to go for it? Do you like to kick a field goal? You want to try to just take time off the clock? And they're going for it.
They are going to go for it here. Ellerman, the quarterback, runs it up the middle. He's not going to be anywhere near the 1st down marker as he gets to the 16-yard line. 2:11 left to go, and McKinney North will take over here. And you'd love to see, as James San Miguel makes the stop, you'd love to see McKinney North just take this 2:11 and do something positive with it, drive it down the field, make a statement here for the last time at Texas Stadium. the last game they'll play in 2005, in the last 2 minutes and 11 seconds of most all of these seniors' careers. Now you got to think some of these guys will go on to play. Ryan Burke, I tell you what, Colby Bryant, a lot of these kids could play at the next level.
Well, it's like I told you, I just wanted to break 20. That'd be the second most points given up this year. And it looks like we got a new quarterback into the game.
Austin Atwell will be in at quarterback. He will give the handoff, and going nowhere is going to be David Robinson for McKinney North. Crosses the 23-yard line. Trevor Smith makes the stop. We are now under 2 minutes in this football game. 59-17, Highland Park on top. We have a NBA score, San Antonio over Houston, 51-40. And we can't keep a signal at Texas Stadium. 1:41 left to go in the fourth quarter. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Austin Atwell he's going to hand off to David Robinson, who is going to go nowhere once again. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Up. Are they going to give him the 24? They might actually give him the 24-yard line. A minute 17 and rolling. Ball at the 19. Third down and 8 for McKinney North. This has been we keep saying this has been a tremendous season, and it has. One that a lot of people will always look back to and say this is the first ever McKinney North team to ever make the playoffs and set the tradition. And maybe they did. Maybe this is the tradition that you never know. The Salinas had to start somewhere, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Handoff, David Robinson up the middle. He's dropped at the line of scrimmage. 45 seconds on the clock. At some point,
this could be the last one.
At some point, at some school, they had zero tradition. And they started from nowhere and worked their way up. And this is a great start for the program of McKinney North, who were kicked around their first year with no seniors and then have battled their way back. Sean Pratt, you can't give him enough credit for what he's been able to do here in this program.
Well, it's like the Highland Parks of the world. This should be the last play, as the play clock's greater than the game clock, and there'd be no reason to punt it here. You know, Highland Park at one point wasn't a team, and you look at it now, they have a lot of tradition. In my mind, Monty, it's better to build tradition than it is to be part of a tradition already and continue it.
Cheers abound for McKinney North, even in defeat, because it's been the greatest season in school history for your Bulldogs. McKinney North, you lose tonight, 59-17, but it's been a wonderful season. We'll recap this one in a moment. 59-17, Highland Park wins this one. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM.